A really good example for us of being able to bring together two critical components to fight against the violent extremism here in the northeast of Nigeria. We've got the advanced technological equipment, which is absolutely necessary, but you can only use that when you've got some high quality soldiers that have got the real training to use that equipment. So it's been a real privilege for the UK to be based here and for the British Army to work with some really courageous, some really talented soldiers, both from Nigeria and from the MNJTF here from Cameroon, to give them the training and the experience so they can use the equipment that we're providing.
The idea of privatizing electricity. My main argument then was that the beauty of capitalism and of private ownership is that in seeking to make profit, they will render a service. But the danger of public ownership is that whether they render a service or not, they draw on the taxpayer treasury in the name of correcting what is there. I could never have imagined, as it is today, that a private person will collect money for services he did not render. And the Nigerian people are helpless. Even we here as privileged class have had to buy the transformer that I use here in the heart of Abuja. And to install it, I have to persuade, negotiate, and even effect payment to Abuja distribution, whatever, to connect the transformer I have procured personally with my resources. And hereafter, this transformer becomes the property of the disco. And every month, I am asked to pay bill on brand A or whatever.
Under your transformer.
Like you said, sir, every state governors, or most, spend public funds, buy transformers for communities. And then you still have to contribute money. Many of us, very soon, when we go back to the electorate, they are going to tell us that for 1 year, for 2 years, they've had no light. What is the problem? No transformer. And then they ask you a senator to go out and buy the transformer. You look for the money, you buy the transformer. And then they say, NEPA says you have to pay for them to connect the transformer to their grid. If cables are 40, you buy the cost, you buy the cable for them to install it. Even right now, I have requests from several communities asking me to buy the transformer and to get them connected. And yet, sir, the key element in distribution is transformer and cables, among others. So if these ones are now being procured by state government using public funds and individuals using their personal resources, what is the cost that these discos are incurring? Now, worse, the money they claim to have paid, because the logic of privatization was to inject private capital into these services. In truth, they went to borrow from Nigeria depository funds in various banks, thereby killing some of those banks who have now become the liability of AMCON, which itself is also a contradiction about the logic of free market. And what they have borrowed, Mr. President, since the privatization took place, what they have borrowed through CBN and other sources is 10 times more than the amount they claim to have paid to become owners of those discos. Lastly, sir, as things stand, discos own not more than 60%, quote, own. So it is arguable where the total money you have borrowed from public sources is more than your private capital, whether you can still claim to be privately owned. 40%, as we speak, still belong to the federal government. But sir, there are no governing councils. There is no governing board for this discourse. So federal government owns 60% of a business and it has no say in the board of those companies. So there is no corporate governance. The one of Edo is owned by a pharmacist. The wife is a banker. The pharmacy becomes the chairman. The banker becomes the MD. They mismanage Edo economy, Delta economy, Ondo economy, Ekiti economy. And we are down right now in crisis. Even I, sir, that I don't live in Benin, my bill every month, I can't even afford it. So, Mr. President, I support the motion by my very good friend who lost an earlier motion, thanks to the vigilance of Mr. Senate President and your commitment to protect the poor. But this motion can benefit from a radical review, including the option of revoking the ill-conceived, ill-executed privatization and revisit it in line with the renewed agenda of Mr. President, that no one shall pay for services to a private Nigerian who did not render that service. We are going to a petrol station to buy fuel without a pump. And the person selling the fuel tells us this is the amount of liter I have ejected. You are no means to verify it. May your leadership, sir, or common as it is, be the one that gives us the political will to revisit and protect Nigerians, rich or poor, who have been victimized by the fake new owners of this discourse. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well guided. In fact, I have to be very honest with you. The president's reform in this country will go to naught unless we take a critical look at what is going on.
Who is sleeping that you arouse? You don't awaken the man pretending to be asleep. Am I the one who has to tell these religious traders that the country is collapsing around their ears and they should tell their congregation? They could march on the street and be praying nonsensical prayers, but they cannot speak in support of the right of citizens to protest. Am I the one who will tell them that? Am I the one who will tell the imams who went to Aso Rock and the lesser imams were given, the lesser clerics were given $10,000 and the bigger ones were given 20? Am I the one who will tell them to stop lying to the victims of their excesses? If I'm working to awaken the people to find common purposes and those who are called in the name of God are busy profiting from the misery of the people and being paid off to be silent to the point where clerics have become distribution point for palliatives, so I cannot waste my life. In actual fact, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, I wrote a piece, I do not write for you. What was I saying? I'm not speaking or writing.
So you said this one is how much, please? 500,000.
This one 510,000.
510,000.
Yes.
This one, come.
But here you go start.
No. From here.
But like this one, it's almost 1.5 bags.
Okay.
So I don't join them. But like this bucket is 13,000.
13,000.
45,000.
45,000.
This is 13,000.
This is 13,000.
Look at the 500 naira.
This is 500.
Yes.
This one is
1,000.
1,000. How about the pepper?
This is 500.
500. And God will help you. Wow. So what cost it?
You cost it because everything is expensive of even for
Please, can I catch you in camera?
that one because I have that.
Okay.
But you can record, you can video it and send it, and you can record my voice.
Yes, I'm doing that.
These expenses like that, the first reason, fuel cost.
Fuel?
And people are using dollars in Nigeria. Nigeria, we are using naira, but we are not using naira now. Actually, we are using dollar. Because a farmer used to bought a bag of fertilizer, almost 75,000 naira a bag.
Okay, for fertilizer.
If you go to the shop, they say dollar don't high because that fertilizer is not from Nigeria.
Okay.
It's Oibo manufacture it.
Okay.
So when you buy like 10 bags, if you can join this 75,000 times 10, it's almost getting to 500,000, or more than 500,000.
Okay.
When you harvest only 3 bags or 4 bags, how much are you going to sell that bag? You consider how much you spend, how much you pay transport, you eat bag of rice, you go buy bucket of rice, 15,000. When you harvest, you include all those expenses inside. Our governments are not helping people. They remove subsidy from fuel. They're supposed to put that subsidy for farming.
For farming, okay.
So they
removed the subsidy from fuel, and they didn't put it into farming.
They don't put it for anywhere. And the government workers,
of,
I'm talking to you now, the federal government workers.
You're a federal government worker?
Yes, I'm selling here to survive my family, to make my family to buy the school fees.
Wow.
Because my salary cannot do anything.
It seems you're a graduate.
Yes, I have my HND here. I'm using it with my bag. I don't carry my bag, but I will show you my HND. I study estate management and valuation.
Wow.
And for my ministry,
Which state are you from?
I'm from Plateau State. Shandam Lukukumen Plateau State.
Okay.
And everybody, many people know me. For Nigeria, it's only one state I don't enter, Jigawa State.
Okay.
But I work for the whole this country. I work every state for Nigeria. I go there, I work.
Okay.
But government are not helping issue. They help themselves.
Okay.
The subsidy that they remove from the fuel, they're supposed to put it somewhere. Health, and the farm, and agriculture, others ministry. So where the money is going to? People as this Irish, even for just you buy this Irish for just 10,000 or 11,000.
Yeah.
The back of Irish is just almost 300,000.
Now,
presently.
And before it was how much?
So in fact, 28,000.
28,000.
Yes.
Before.
Yes. Now.
Then the bag of onion, how much was it before?
In fact, 12,000.
12,000.
Yes.
But now a bag is how much?
Before Tinubu enter, we buy. I bought onions, put it for here, 11,000 back.
11,000.
Yes.
But now it's how much?
Now it's almost, in fact, 400,000. When you bought it by month.
On the journey to a prosperous future, I hereby present the 2025 budget to the joint section of the 11th National Assembly. 10? I wrote 11. Which means you are all re-elected.
tó fẹ́ kú torí ẹ̀. Ọwọ́ ẹni ló ti ṣàánú kọ́. Ayé la bá, ayé la fi sílẹ̀ sí.
And I am ready to die defending Nigeria in whatever way. When it is God's time for us to go, it is
and you
not
took my
going
time to God. You are ready to defend Nigeria. I gave you my time.
No, please, I'm coming.
Alexi, hold on. You already started.
What I'm saying, defending Nigerians is this.
I gave him my time and he's using it to defend
No, sorry. Sorry.
Okay. Children are born and put on a rubber stool. No, I tell people, Dr. Damages, you need to come, if you want to know the level of poverty in Nigeria, you need to enter the Nigerian hospital. You'll be walking at the doctor, sometimes you cry. Sometimes we use our money to give patients. So when people see doctors go on strike, I get mad. I had to leave. It's painful. You see a child that you're taking care of. After a few days, the child is getting retrogressing. The child is getting worse by the day because the drug you recommended, you prescribe for the child, they cannot take the child's prescription to the pharmacy. There is no money. They don't have money in their account. The little baby that is so fragile, you manage to take their blood sample. They cannot process the blood sample because the person at the lab said no, they don't have the money in their account. They will take my salary if I process this sample. So you watch the innocent baby go retrogress. What do? You take our money from your pocket and give that parent, madam, please go and put in this account. Let me see this child get better. And we're here defending thieves because they give you $5,000, $1,000. What is $1,000? Children are born and put on plastic chairs in Nigeria. Are we not ashamed of ourselves? And we'll call Obi stingy. Let him be prudent and let us have functioning hospitals. Let us have good roads. Our people are dying. Children are dying by the day. I had somebody when I was in Calabar, and when I was still a medical student, the man I used to buy something from at Amaya Market, his child was born premature. Guess what? But the child was older than the other child that survived. Why did his child die? Because the child missed the last incubator that was available. The other child that was born that was weaker had the incubator. His child did not have any incubator. They had to wrap the child and put a lamp beside him. That child died.
Oh.
And you people have the effrontery to come here and defend Tinubu article.
Oh no, it's so sad. It's so sad.
You want to know poverty? Enter the hospitals of Nigeria. You don't know nothing.
It's so
So we
sad.
have to be very careful what we say. Very careful.
I hope that Nigeria wins. I'm never going to wish any president evil so that I can say I told you so. No, I won't wish them evil. I hope. You see, I'm not praying. There's no point. I can't pray for Nigeria to be fine. I only hope that Nigeria wins and Nigerians win. Because if you choose a dodgy doctor who has a dodgy record, who has, all sort of accusations leveled against him to say, this doctor, we think he's done this, or this doctor, this surgeon. Yes, he's a senior surgeon, he's the most whatever surgeon, but there are a lot of accusations leveled against him. If you choose him to operate on you, and you tell me to pray for you that it doesn't kill you surgery, what's the point? I can't pray. You might make it, you might not make it. My prayer won't change anything. So I hope Nigeria and Nigerians win during Tinubu's 4 years. Thank you.
Don't forget, that state is now an oil producing state. So they now have derivation, if you are not aware. So if you want to speak for anybody, please do not defend a character like Yabelo. Please do not.
Okay, let me
You can
respond
speak
to
for
him.
anybody,
One
but
second
do not
then.
defend a character like Yabelo. Do not.
All right, thank you, Mohammed.
The people of that state.
Can I respond to him?
No.
Then go to hell. Rudolph, go to hell.
All right.
Rudolph, I've never seen this part of him before. My God.
Tinubu is a criminal, yes, of course, a categorical grade 1 criminal. The only person more criminal than Tinubu in Nigeria is probably Babangida. But he's a criminal, and is he fit for purpose? Absolutely not. Should Tinubu be the president of Nigeria? Categorical no. Is there a better option than him? That is subjective. So show me who he is.
Christmas and New Year are on the corner. Have you ensured that your loved ones in Nigeria, Ghana, and Cameroon have everything they need for a perfect Christmas feast? Are you? If you haven't, don't worry. It is not too late. The good people of Help Me Waka are ready to help you. They have special packages for you. They include hampers, fresh livestock, and groceries. Yes! Isn't that wonderful? Help Me Waka services are the best choice out there. They are convenient and reliable. No stress, no worries. Help Me Waka takes care of everything while you focus on the holidays. With Help Me Waka, you know your loved ones will be smiling on Christmas morning. What is better than that? Don't wait for the last minute rush. Place your orders with Help Me Waka now and enjoy a stress-free holiday. DM Help Me Waka today or visit their website to get started. When you mention Dr. Damages in the description, you get the best discount. Yes!
All right, welcome to the show. My name is Rudolph Okonkwo. Thank you for joining us. It's Saturday, December the 21st, 2024. We're here live from New York City. It's cold, it's snowing in New York City. I think this is the first snow for the season here in New York. I hope it's warmer wherever in the world you're joining us. Thank you for being here. It's a wonderful day here in America, and hopefully where you are joining us. We have a lot of issues in the news as always, and we're going to touch on as many as we can. What we have out is Dele Farotimi gets bail. Most of you had the news that yesterday he was granted bail. We're going to talk about that with a condition that I don't think we've seen that in Nigeria, as far as I know, which is restraining him from talking to the media. So why did they do that? What are they getting at? So we are going to get into that. We have some tragic situations across the country. One is Ibadan, where they had 36 or so kids died when they had a funfair Stampede in Ibadan. There was one in Abuja where I think 5 or so people died. And this morning in Okija in Anambra State, about 35 people so far died in another stampede. People going to get some rice and gifts from people who are trying to help them. So these are serious times and serious situations for desperate people in Nigeria. So we're going to look into that. And at the same time, we are going to look at the budget that the president called the budget of restoration. He said in the budget speech that the era or the time for lamentation is over. But days after, we saw people lamenting from east to west to south to north, everywhere in the country. So we're going to talk about that and put them all in perspective. In America, we had a mild drama that will have led to government shutdown yesterday, because the new president of the country, not the incoming one, which is Trump, the new one, which is called President Elon Musk, decided that there are ways that he wanted things to be done. So we are going to talk about that and all the other issues in the news. So if you're interested in joining us, we welcome you to join us to have this conversation, and we will be here. All right, so we have our man, the executive producer. Let me just, we have big announcement to make, but not today, not today. After Christmas, you know, we have Show. Show is joining us. Show, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Dr. Damages, and good evening to our viewers and the chat gang. Good to be with you once again.
Yeah, so let me share the link because most people don't know how to come in. But so what did I miss? I know I didn't touch on all the things. There were anything you want to talk about?
How long do you have?
I know.
Okay, so let me just quickly whiz through a few things that I've written. Like I always come in, or when I come in to do this, it's not necessarily things to be discussed, but just things that have made the news that we probably missed, as I've been accused. You know, I'm a Twitter, I get my news on Twitter, as opposed to those who watch NTA to get their news. So a few things I saw on Twitter during the week. So I'll start with this, a bit of positive, you know, for those who live in Lagos especially. Governor Sanwo-Olu gave 260 cars, pickup trucks, to the security officers in Lagos State. All brand new. The only downside to that is the fact that they are all Toyotas and Mitsubishis and things like that. You know, you would think what that could have done to our economy if it was given to a local assembly plant, local manufacturer, whatever you want to call it. We have a few guys who could put that together in Lagos or in Nigeria at least. But 260 patrol vans. And
can I stop you? There's something you didn't think about. If they are going to go after terrorists that use Toyota, they better use Toyota too, you know.
We've seen the terrorists, they do Okada now. So, and Lagos terrorism, I don't think is that they need to be fast. There's a lot of traffic, so they're not running anywhere fast.
Also, I heard that they are building police quarters for them too.
Yes, I think they knocked down an existing one and they're going to rebuild it. And a lot of people are skeptical that once they rebuild it, the people that they temporarily moved out might never get to move back in. But, you know, I think that was a good one. 260 vans, trucks being given to the security officials to work with. And the IGP of Nigeria, the IG was there to receive those cars on behalf of the police. And he said something that's triggered a small conversation online where he said that the last successful bank robbery in Lagos was in 2007. And a lot of people said that's down to traffic. You are not going anywhere. But, that's the positive. So now that that's out of the way, now let's go to and the president must know that I'm not listening to him, because he said at the National Assembly that no more lamentation. But I can't help myself, so let me go through them. A lady, her name is, I want to get the name correctly, because I think it's only fair that we get the name correctly. So I've got the name here somewhere. Her name is Olamide Abiodun Thomas. She is alleged to have cursed President Tinubu's son, Sheyi Tinubu, I think around, I'm not sure when exactly, sometime in 2024, so sometime this year, she cursed him, and she must have said as part of what she said in an online video that I've not seen, that he's going to DIE this year. So she was whisked away from Lagos to Abuja. So she's facing trial right now. She's been remanded in custody. So just to put that out there, that things like that exist in Nigeria. It's not just Dele Farotimi going through stuff like that. So someone says something online. Yes, we don't encourage, we say it on this platform, we don't encourage people wishing people bad. Even we said you shouldn't curse people, even if it sounds like a prayer, and it became a big deal. Some panelists weren't happy about that. But we made our stance, we don't stand for things like that. But for the Nigerian police to be prosecuting someone for that. And that leads me to the third thing I'm going to mention, that the PRO, Mr. Olumuyiwa something of the Nigerian police, was on Twitter during the week, and it was saying that if you curse someone, that it is a criminal, defamation. And a lot of lawyers have come to tell him that he doesn't know what he's talking about, that's been repealed in 2021 or thereabout, that is no longer criminal, But he said that if you do that, we will come after you and we would prosecute you and the rest of it. So just putting that out there as well. That's what the Nigerian police are saying as of now, because he hasn't deleted the tweet. So it still stands. So it's just for people to know, especially if you live in Nigeria, what to say, what not to say, when to say things. And I'm not trying to socially engineer people, whatever we've been accused of doing. It's not social engineering, because if they catch you, the people that are pushing you, they won't come out. So be careful, know when to speak, know where to speak, be guided. The fourth thing I'm going to mention is there's a Christian lady. She's been called a Christian lady by so many outlets. It's almost like that's her name. But I think her name is Rhoda Jatau from Bauchi State. She's been locked up since 2022 for sharing a video that condemned the killing of Deborah that was set on fire because she said in their university WhatsApp group that the WhatsApp group should not be used to promote any religion. And she said something about the prophet, which, those illiterates were not happy about. And they chased her, hunted her down, set her on fire. So this Rhoda Jatau lady shared a video that condemned the, horrific killing of Deborah. She was accosted since 2022. She's been in jail since then. Her house was burnt, allegedly, according to many reports. Few houses, in her village was also burnt. So they paid the price for what their neighbor did. Only on the 10th of December this year, she was acquitted. So she's finally free. A lot of international organizations got involved. So, that sheds light on the sort of society we live in Nigeria. If it's a secular society, how can you go after someone and said she was locked up for 2 years? She's a mother of 5. To lock her up because she shared a video that condemned the killing of another Nigerian who said something about an Arab. Like, where's your thinking cap? So that happened. I'm really happy for Rhoda Jatau that she's finally free. Her whereabouts has not been disclosed because the people we deal with, they will still go after her. They won't rest until they spill, blood. So that's that. Another thing is the Naira scarcity in Nigeria now. We're beginning to see Naira scarcity because our government are just inept in many ways. You want to digitalize, you want to, go cashless. You don't do it around Christmas. I agree that it has to be done, but you don't do it during Christmas, and you don't do it when our infrastructure is not, solid enough. It's not robust enough to be a cashless society. Most times you want to make payments, and they're telling you there's no network. Go out, you'll be raising your phone, trying to make payment. if you're trying to do cashless. So they're saying now that the POS guys, the point of sale guys, those guys who have like a card reader everywhere across Nigeria, that the maximum they can withdraw a day is 1.2 million naira. So as a business, I have a POS business. The maximum I can withdraw is 1.2 million naira. And Rudolph, my customer, you come to me to withdraw money because I'm next door on your street. The maximum I can give you in a day is 100,000 naira. That is a welcome development. Because two reasons people have given for that is because the broader thing is to go cashless eventually. But one reason is because a lot of these kidnappers, when they catch their victims, they tell them to send money to a POS operator. Could be 2 million, 3 million, because there are baby kidnappers who just want 500k, 1 million. So they transfer the money to the POS operator, the victim's family, then the kidnappers go and cash it out. So they want to curb that. So that's good. And also with the POS operators, you would go to 9 out of 10 cash machines in Nigeria, or 8. There'll be no cash because the POS guys, they get all of the money. Of course, they are doing it in collaboration with all these bank operators. Because for every 5,000 naira, I checked with my mom just today. I said, in Ibadan, how much do you pay to withdraw money from a POS operator? And she said it used to be 100 naira for 5,000. But now it's 200, 250, depends on where you go. Some places in Port Harcourt, I had is about 300 naira for every 5,000. How do you pay naira to get naira? When there's no issue, there's no scarcity, there's nothing. It's just that if you go to the cash point at the banks, there's no money. So it's a good thing that they are doing it, but the timing, it's a few days to Christmas and we're not fully cashless. So people are struggling. I mean, if you're saying the maximum anybody can withdraw in a day is 100k, one local turkey that is alive, turkey that is flying up and down that you kill, it ranges from about 80k to 120, 130,000. So if you buy the turkey with cash, how do you buy the rest of the things? A bag of rice is how much? So to limit it to 100k, I don't know. I just think, like I said, the timing is really bad. They could have done it at a better time. People will complain, but the first thing they want to do is to make sure that we have the infrastructure so that people can do transfers. Internet is not bad. All this bank. I mean, I want to transfer money from my Access Bank. Yes, on Tuesday. It took me about 2 hours. So what my nephew told me is that just go to bed, try around 3, 4 a.m. when Nigeria is still asleep. Maybe you would get through. And that's what happened. So, you can't just say people should go cashless when you don't have a reliable alternative for them. Moving on quickly. So this one, I will say it in Pidgin. I'll try, my best Pidgin. Edo State. If I see Henry come here and be telling us I'm a pure Bini blood, nobody can do us this, nobody can do this. So, an investor went to Edo State the other day in the name of MC Oluomo. He visited the governor of Edo State. And let me share a video, if you will, Dr. Damages.
Go ahead.
So that people won't say it didn't happen. There's a bit of old school Yoruba music, but it's fine. That's just proof that senior man MC Oluomo was in Edo State recently. And shortly after that, this happened. Where are you? We come with receipts, you see.
Which is national? Which is national? They follow the fight. Now we come meet our president, which is on we president. Make you help us come meet our mayor, may help us get governor. What will be the problem? What you will do? What you going to give us that they give us problem, they give us money. They don't even piss some of our endeavor. They don't collect money for some hand as we talk. So make God make it avail. Now we want. We're not going to grow. We're not going to
Okay, I'm not going to bore you with the whole video, but what transpired is that, according to reports and what this guy said, that guy in yellow top, he said he used to pay 100 naira every day to the tax collectors, but all of a sudden they are being asked to pay 1,500 naira every day.
A day?
So yes, 1,500. And what I now found out from other sources is that they used to pay 1,000 before or thereabout. Then when Governor Baseki came and there was issues and the rest of it, he tried to stop it completely. but he couldn't stop it because they always need these guys from time to time. So they said they should be paying 100 naira, and I think they suspended NURTW in the state. So they formed something else called drivers on wheels or something like that. So they told them to be paying 100 naira per day. But since Obaseki is gone, Pakumisa is there now. MC Olomo visited, who is the national chairman, is now in Abuja, is the overall chairman. So now, all of a sudden, 1,500 naira levy has surfaced. So Yorubas will say, Ajekela no omokuleni. So if the witch howled last night and the baby, why? You can link the two. I'm not saying it's responsible, but I'm pleading with senior man. I'm pleading with senior man, MC Oluomo, to please visit all the states that is governed by APC. Just visit them. Don't see anything, and let the effects. Let everybody feel the effects. Let everybody feel the effect. So that happened in Edo State. So all this Edo no be Lagos. Edo don't pass Lagos self. So this one way go come. We elected an illiterate. It's one of us. Don't come and tell us how to do it. At least we can see some of the benefit. So Henry, I'm a pure Benin blood. Nobody can tell us what to do. My brother, they've told you, and nothing's going to happen. You will live with it. So nothing they shake. And also, I saw something on the Punch newspaper. Nobody me talk this one on a Punch talk before they will come to find me. That it be like say it don't rain for Port Harcourt. The makeup don't wash. When it rains, makeup, it will wash away. The Punch newspaper are saying that after a month, it looks like the Port Harcourt refinery is no longer working. It looks like it's been shut down, no operation. That was reported yesterday. But since then, NNPC have come out in their usual way, tweets upon tweets, saying that no, it's still working, it's functioning, people are loading and all of that. But as you know, in most cases, there's no fire without smoke or no smoke without fire, one or the other. You get the drift. So NNPC, refinery in Port Harcourt, those who are interested to keep a keen eye on it and see what happens over the next few weeks. I think those are the things I thought, I'll just highlight, like I said, not worth discussing or anything like that, but just to give you like a weekly news update.
Yeah, they are worth discussing, but
you have 3 hours.
I know we don't have the time. Yeah, we don't have the time, but they are wonderful. Thank you so much on these subjects. But where are we with Farotimi?
The last I heard is it's been granted bail. Been granted
is
bail.
He out?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. Granted bail, 30 million naira, to give them his passport at the magistrate court, to also give them the same passport at the high court in the same Ekiti. So I don't know how many passports he has, but they granted him bail on the 9th. So they wanted his passport. They granted him bail again yesterday. They want his passport. So 2 different courts want his passport. And I read, not officially, but I read that Peter B is willing to be one of his shorties, or the only shorty. I'm not sure how many he needs. But I'm glad, that his bail can be perfected and he can go home to spend time with his family, look after himself and defend himself in court. I don't think anyone is saying don't sue Dele Farotimi or don't drag him or don't do whatever. But let him be free. Don't tie his hands behind him while you fight him. Don't fight dirty. Let him go defend himself in court. That's all we ask for. So for those who are missing the point and saying, oh, you can't just write something and expect to go scot-free. No, we're not saying he should go scot-free. Let him go to court and let the court decide. We just have to cross our fingers with his court judgment.
What about Yaya Bello? I heard that he got bail, that he's out of.
I had as well. I've stopped following Yaya Bello's story because I lost interest in it.
No, but he came out on clutches. That's news.
Yeah, it's not the first one. I mean, Dido Milaye said he was on a tree for how many hours? For Fayoshe, he was in severe pain.
But what does that say? That after what do they think? That our people are so dumb that we will see him come out just, I don't get it.
No, I think what happened to them is when they're in power, there's this sense of invisibility that they have. And they always think it would go on forever. They always think, we would always win. Because especially in Nigeria, in Africa in general, when you're in power, the chances of you losing an election are slim. So they never think they would lose. So they do all these things that they do, and all of a sudden they get the result, and it's a shocker. And they're thinking, how do I get out of this? And they start to do all these theatrics and drama. I mean, look at the one, Professor Pondé, the NDDC guy. He collapsed during the hearing. Has anyone heard from him since then? No, it's just disappeared. Well, what happened to the case? So it's not the first time you see a Nigerian politician, come out and do. All of them should just go and enroll and do drama class and entertain us. I think they're better entertainers than leaders. They have nothing to offer, unfortunately. They have nothing to offer, and I think we need to deodorize the political scene. It's never going to be perfect. We know that politics is not run by pious people or popes or whatever. Even the popes, if you're getting on, but that's not why we're here. But we need to deodorize it a bit and demystify it so that people who actually have genuine interest for their constituents would be interested in politics. Because I think a lot of people are scared. They are worried. I mean, imagine if you told your wife you want to go and do politics in Nigeria. She'll just tell you what's come over you. What you understand. So I think that's one of the tasks we have at hand. We need to get people interested so that people like yourself, myself, everybody, some in Nigeria, some in the diaspora, can actually go and contest. The current guys we have, they have no interest of the people. And I fear for someone like you or myself, as just one person goes there to compete, let's even say you win. They will overwhelm you. People won't recognize you are the same guy that was talking tough on Dr. Damages and all these other platforms. Because it's just you in the midst of how many people. There's not much you can do. But we need to form that nucleus. Get more people to be interested. So whatever agenda we want to push, if it is restructuring, if it is whatever, if it is impeachment, whatever we want to do, you have more than one person saying it. But if I go there, who was there? I think it was your guest who came last week. I don't join most of the Sundays. I listen, but I don't join to ask questions. And he was saying if he goes there, they will sack him all the time. My brother, they will deal with you. It's just you. But imagine you have him. You have a Showore. You have a Soli, like Soli. Now I'm looking at him and he will come up. You have people with this character of Soli. You have people like that. You have even 10 at the National Assembly. It's a different conversation. If they drop Soli, who came to tell us how to do it, if they drop him at the National Assembly, next election, they'll swallow him. Drop a Showore there by himself. My brother, it is 1 out of 360. There's I'm not saying you won't say what you want to say, but you won't go far. You won't go. So are you saying you alone is better than having 10 of you go? That's what I'm saying. It's better to have a few of you that you can bounce off each other. You can have people that would defend you when you speak. But if you go there by yourself and you speak by yourself, you're a lone voice in the wilderness. Even Jesus, he tried it. A lone voice in the wilderness, he lost. Do you understand? I mean, he won the ultimate battle for Christians. But at the end of the day, the more people we have speaking from the same hymn sheet, the better, I think, personally. But hey, I'll let the conversation flow.
Okay, before we go to the next person, Henry has responded to you. He's here, but there's something else going on in Edo State? Didn't they suspend the local government chairman?
It's their governor now. It's their governor that suspended it, but the court have reversed that apparently. But it's looking like Edo is Lagos now. I think they took that statement personal. You people should have just kept quiet.
What do you expect from Agbado?
So,
Good evening.
All right,
should I speak?
Let's welcome Henry. Henry, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Mr. Rudolph and Shosho. What do you expect from Agbero president? What do you expect? Lagos was Europe instead of Yoruba state, all the states from the Yoruba side, they are all Agbero state before. You know it. Sure, you know it. The way they do Agbero there is so like a hub, like a how you call it, best profession in Yoruba land. You're supposed to know it. So now, what do you expect from Oshomole governor and a governor? He brought MC Oluolo. This was the first time he's coming to Benin to come and do all this kind of thing. Benin people, if they want to dance on your toes, they will dance. You know it. This thing they cost to themselves now. I'm just happy it's gonna be like this at the moment. So it is less for them to say no, we don't stand on this Balabu government. Because I cannot imagine the governor will invite Agboro to his state. They welcome like a president. Then the next day, or a few days later, they increase their daily pay to from 100 naira to 1,500. So it's only a fool. We say, okay, you know what? We don't have no choice. Let's say, okay, we'll pay. Except at those states, they become Lagos already. So they will let it be so. You know, okay, look at the state, look at the whole country now. Sure. You tell me which of the state is working. The country, if everybody's happy in the country. Tell me. Tell me which state everybody's happy. Just tell me one.
All right, we'll go into the conversation, but let me just welcome to the show KJ Sully and Ikenna San Antonio. Welcome to the show. I will run through all of you to just see what we missed. The show listed some of the issues in the news. If there's anything that you think is important to highlight, let's hear it. So let me come to you. Let me start from you, Sully. Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can I just quickly reply, Henry? There are Agberos everywhere. There are Agberos in the east, there are Agberos in the north. In fact, the ones in the east, they hold knives and they disturb people trying to enter buses. So please let's not generalize. There was a stampede in Anambra, there was stampede in Ibadan, there was stampede at they said somewhere in Abuja. And I've already heard people already defending and saying Nigerians are disorganized, Nigerians don't know how to arrange themselves. You know, one tribalistic platform will soon start soon, and you will see how they'll start defending it. But if the president was an Igbo president, you will see how they'll start criticizing the government. So before they get ready to enter their stream and start blaming the citizens, I blame the government, because if the head is bad, the body will be bad also. This thing is still going to happen next year, and it's still going to happen the year after that. It is the government's job to implement policies so that these events will not be allowed to start in the first place. In the UK, and these people, most of them live in the UK, so I don't understand where they used to intentionally lose their memory or become, in the UK, if you want to have an event, you get permits, you ask for permission, you do so many things before you even get to the point where you are even doing giveaway in the first place. If the government puts down policies in the first place, this kind of events will not happen. That is so disorganized. There's no security, there's no orderliness, they have no way to plan it. They just open, you see somebody just set up tent on the street and say they are doing party. If the government sits down for one day, it doesn't even have to be 1 week, it doesn't have to be just one day, implement policy on setting up events, this thing will change. People will not be able to set up before they even get to the point of saying they want to distribute, they want to get, you can't. It's just simple policies. It won't cost you 1 naira. It won't cost you 1 naira to implement it. So that's just one of the topics I wanted to add, because I know that this is just a quick run-through session.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's hear from KJ.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think both you yourself and my good friend Sho have covered all I think is important. That's it. I'm not thinking, I don't have anything now to add. Maybe when we go on, we will eventually be able to pick up other stuff. Thank you, sir.
So, Ikenna San Antonio, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Damages. Happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. I guess, I think soon you will be my in-law, but we're still thinking.
Oh, you are coming to marry from New York?
Where are we going to Nobi soon?
Oh, wow. That's serious business.
My brother just found the one in Nobi, so we go and pluck.
Wow. I'll have to tell them to increase the bride price and all that.
No.
I need to investigate the family.
If you increase the dowry, when we finish burning Pekin, we go feather seed back to you guys with no return envelope.
Wow, congrats. That's
yeah.
Good.
The only thing, I don't know if you allude on it, the stampede that just happened in Anambra State in Okija. It's unfortunate that this is what we are hearing this time of the season, even though people will, because of how the things our people believe, they will say, oh, They have used them to do ritual and all that. Unfortunately, that is what will be the outcome. People will start saying, is it only him that makes money? His good deed just turned to be bad deed. I have a big event that I'm hosting, and now it's giving me a pause. And I don't know if I want an ambulance. I don't even know who to talk to. I don't even know who to get involved with to do that. And that is what I will discuss with my family in a minute, because we have a big medical outreach. But unfortunately, Nigeria have failed our people. Because if Nigeria was good, we wouldn't be having all this stampede. Uh, at least, yeah, if you want to do something in abroad, you will get an ordinance and capacity of the place you're gonna do that and do things. But I guess that is the only thing I want to say. I don't know if he allude on that, and wait for what the topics are. So thank you.
All right, thank you. I think. Oh, go ahead, Ash.
Just quickly, I mean, to support what Soli said regarding the government being, responsible for the loss of lives in Anambra, Ibadan, and Abuja. I'm sure some of you have seen the video of people trying to board airpiece. I mean, it looked like people were fighting to enter Mulwe, and it's a matter of time before you have another, stampede. For those who have not seen it, I have the video somewhere. That's an accident waiting to happen. And
what a country.
When we say government are the regulators. We're not saying they should go there and stand there, but you are the regulators. There should be consequences. When it happens, like Soli said, not even next year, it would happen again this year, because somebody somewhere out of goodwill will say, let me give people food. And there you go again. The government are the regulators. Otherwise, it's like saying, the children at home are fighting all the time, breaking stuff. That's why you have parents. It's their job. But sorry, carry on.
And the fact that those guys paid over 100,000 and they are behaving that way.
You know why they did that? They are afraid to travel on the roads. It's all linked.
That's interesting. Oh, one more thing. There's something about a mosque in Lagos putting posters. Who knows anything about that?
Yeah,
I think people are just.
They changed it to put other one again. I saw it before.
I think they're looking to start a religious war.
You see. These are the Muslims.
Dr. Damaging, did you say 100,000 for flights?
Yeah.
More information.
No, I paid 303,000 from Lagos to East, from Lagos to Asaba. This Christmas. One way flight. And the economy. So please, 100,000 times don't pass since.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the mosque in Lagos displayed a banner that Jesus is not God. Very big banner right at their gates, and that sparked us some discussion and all that. So the question we asked is, what is your business with whether Jesus is God or not? I think you should be more concerned with Muhammad and the rest. But you see, if a Christian body had written that and put, Muhammad is not, a prophet, by now Nigeria will be burning. So you can see to the extent that people want to provoke other people.
KJ, in the real fact, Muhammad is not a prophet. It's not.
No, it's not my business to know whether to discuss with that. I mean,
everybody go and read about it. It's not a prophet.
No. Listen. If somebody come now and say he's worshiping a stone, it's not my business to go and tell a person what you are doing is not correct. If that's what you are choosing to do, that's his business. I myself will decide what is God to me, and I'll continuously to follow it. But I will not come and say, okay, because the stone you are worshiping, you took it from my backyard, therefore it's not your God. If you say it's your God, it's your God. What's my business in it? But then going to the point of displaying that in a very volatile society where anything can spark off anything. Supposing a young man, vibrant like myself, decided to do the opposite and put the same thing in a mosque, by today now, Lagos will be something else, and they probably from there go to other places. So people should be more careful. Remember that it's in this same country that a president sanctioned the killing of a lady by saying, why should she have made that such provocative statement? It's in this same country. The president, I'm not saying a non-entity in the street. So I don't know why, why they do that. Anyway, that's it. It's real, Mr. Rudolph.
All right, thank you.
They've
Before
removed the banner, by the way. They removed it.
Yeah, I know. I saw that it was removed, but the idea that it was put in there tells you something about how some people look at this religion and the need to get other people upset. But anyway, I just want to say before we start the conversation, let me show that tomorrow on 90 Minutes Africa, we have Malcolm Fabi joining us. Most of you have seen him on this show. He's going to help us discuss what a group of people have come together to do, to think beyond Dele Farotimi. We've mentioned that there are other people who are going through similar legal challenges across Nigeria, including reporters and activists and bloggers. We need to get to the bottom of having a system in place that will help to support people who maybe they express the opinion they are being harassed and being locked up by people who are powerful. In some cases, in a way that is not really the way it should be. So he will join us tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. New York time, 6:30 p.m. Nigeria, for that conversation. So if you can join us, that would be wonderful. And we were hoping that when we scheduled him, we were hoping that we're going to get Dele, by then that Dele might have been out and he might come and say hello. But now that there is media restriction, that wouldn't happen anyway, even if he's out. But that's for tomorrow. Also, just before we start, I want to wish everybody, because this is our last show before Christmas, Merry Christmas to all of you, those who are celebrating. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever you are celebrating, in America, we have to take care of everybody. So let's start the first conversation, which is this stampede, this idea of people being desperate for food to the point that they will go anywhere, step on other people, just to find something to eat. Let me start with you, sure. Ibadan was the first instance, and then now we have it in Abuja, in Anambra, and other places.
Yes. First of all, I'd like to say condolences to the families of those who have lost their children, loved ones. Praying for strength for them, because it must be a really dark period. Some people would have lost 2 children, not just one. One is bad enough. Some people have lost 2. Some people, entire generation wiped out in that incident in Ibadan, and the one in Abuja and Anambra as well. I think it underlines a bigger issue. Of course, people would say if you offer free food in the UK, people will go and queue. There's food bank and there's this and that. Yes, people would go because there's poverty everywhere, but there are degrees to the level of poverty. Nigerians are so, depraved that if you tell them that you're giving out 500 naira to each person, you'll be surprised at the amount of people that will turn up. We've seen videos of people, adults, being chastised, caned in Lagos. I saw a video where they were sharing bread, maybe like a year ago, thereabout. They were sharing bread and people queued up and they were being beaten for not queuing properly. So this Ibadan Stampede, from what I gathered, is that the former wife or the former queen of Ile-Ife, that's Queen Naomi. I don't know if she retains the title, but Naomi, she wanted to give stuff to people. She's no longer with the Oni of Ife, but I think she lives in Akure. But she wanted to do something for them in Ibadan. So they advertised it on a radio station. I can't remember. I think it's called Agidigbo Radio. I think they wanted, I don't know the exact amount. But when they realized that too many people turned up, the radio station allegedly started saying that people should stop going and the rest of it. I was told that there were over 10,000 people that turned up. And I'm not sure that event was meant to be for more than maybe 500, maybe 1,000, 2,000 at most. So these things are avoidable. Anywhere in this part of the world, they have, you know, they have a maximum as to how many people you can admit into a hall. The hall might be able to seat 20,000 people, but they always leave room for if there's chaos and people need to run around. So they don't, they don't exhaust the capacity. But in Nigeria, where anything goes, yes, it's easy to blame the people, but I keep saying the regulators, that is why we have it. Otherwise, what is the point of having a government if they cannot regulate? When you're having such events, there should be paramedics, there should be firefighters, there should be multiple exits to all these buildings, but they just tell people come and collect this, and boom, everybody went there, and many lives have been lost. And I saw, I mean, maybe I shouldn't go into that. I mean, I saw some images that literally broke my heart, and I thought, how can we do this to one another? And this idea of Bambiala dashing out things to people, it needs to stop. When I was growing up in the same Ibadan, I cannot remember that things like this were happening. That somebody would just say from where, and I'm not blaming those who are trying to help, but the situation of Nigerians wasn't so dire that somebody would just wake up and say, come and collect rice. What is the obsession with rice in Nigeria? The government is giving out rice. The people are copying the idea of giving out rice. If you want to give people stuff, pay for their education so that they can feed the ones after them. Stop giving them rice. The queen should give scholarship. If they don't eat on Christmas, they will be fine. What is the point of eating on Christmas and on Boxing Day you're hungry? Give them scholarships, train them, adopt 10, send them to school. This idea of just packing people and just dashing them something and recording it and posting it online, I am personally fed up of it. There are people that I help back home. I don't give them rice. I don't tell them to come and collect rice at our door. There are other ways of helping people. And some people might say, but that's what they want to do. But look at the consequences. The one in Ibadan happened, and some people jumped on it. I saw it on Twitter, and I thought, oh my God. People started saying, oh, look at the Yoruba people, hungry people, hungry people. Was the devil will have it, he struck in Abuja. And the next thing, in Anambra today, and they all went away quietly. For me, it doesn't matter where it's happened. They are Nigerians. They are human beings. But we keep doing this to one another and we celebrate it because it's their tribe, it's our tribe. They are hungry. So all of us are hungry now. People have been killed in every region, north, east, west. Then what now? But like Solly said, I hope it doesn't happen next year because this government will just fold their hands. The perpetrators are probably rich people who can afford to give people rice. They will probably pay their way and there'll be no consequences. There has to be consequences.
Thank you, Sho. The point is that sometimes we also deceive ourselves that there are people who are not hungry in Nigeria. I think all parts of the country, they are feeling the impact of this the economy that we have. Anybody telling you that there is a part of the country that is not, that person is not telling you the truth. KJ.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rudolph, and thank you everyone in the panel and the people on the the key parts. I would just like to say that I don't know. I sympathize with everyone who have lost a loved one. That's from a human point of view. But I don't know. Are you thinking it's not going to happen again? If you think so, you must be kidding. Because not too long ago, this has happened over time, and I don't want to go back into the history to tell you how many times that's happened, either in secondary schools or in primary school. But in Buhari's government, Buhari's government, under the minister called Abamaru, okay, Minister of Internal Affairs, under the Immigration Services, they were called to the Abuja Stadium for recruitment, and people lost their lives. Coppers, people who had just left school and all that, lost their life. Nobody was held responsible. They issue all kinds of stupid orders, and after those who lost people went to cry their bury their dead, and that's it. Abamoro, yeah, thank you for that. This thing, Abamoro. No, so now, so it's something that has happened and is happening, and it will keep happening because the government seem to play the ostrich. Now, in this instance, should we blame the people who have said to help and eventually turn out this way? Well, some blame will go to them, obviously, because as I speak to you now, even in my community, people are going to be giving, people are going to be doing handout to people. They, in fact, bring trailers of rice, but they've taken, and this has been happening over time. So what they do is they get a particular set of people who make sure that they take care of, they are divided into different groups, and so they don't have people converging in one place. Okay, that's one simple way of doing it. Since you don't have all the infrastructure that can maintain, a large number of people in a particular place. So you don't even gather them in a particular place. You divide them into different places so that no one time will you get too much number of people in a particular place. And so you can do that, I'm suggesting that because that's the only way to deal with it, because you're not going to have the infrastructures needed for such control, Or better still, you meet the churches, because I know that people like House in the Rock has a very solid protocol department. They can handle such large, without even having any problem at all. But in the case of not being able to get to those points, what you should do is common sense should prevail. You cannot say you want to do good and at the same time 35 people, for crying out loud, 35 lives in one location, not counting the Abuja or the one in Okija. So it's sad. And somebody said tomorrow you start saying that a juju. Why won't I think a juju? Because every time, why won't I think so? Why do you want me not to think so? It's happening, and you guys are not doing anything about it. And tomorrow you organize another one, and people die, and then Sarah, what will be will be. We clap our hands and say, well, Otito is finished, and that's it. We continue in the same thing.
Yeah, but KJ, hold on, The juju that people are because I've had that people saying that even what happened at Okija. The juju that people are referring to is that the people trying to help to give this food and this money, that they are the ones using the dead people for juju, which is unbelievable that people are saying that in the 21st century. If the juju you are talking about is that people will see something going wrong and do nothing about that, maybe I can agree with you that maybe it's juju in the sense, not voodoo, but in the sense that people are so incapable of doing, they feel they can't do anything. But the juju that people refer to, that these people set this up to, some for whatever reason, I hope it will go away from Nigerian mentality in my lifetime.
Dr. Rudolph.
Yeah.
We are black people, and we are rooted in such places. I know you have been living in the US for so long, so you probably have lost touch of what goes on in Africa, especially in Nigeria. And some people who want to pride themselves as being modern can also say they don't understand. And I don't want to go into that. On a different day, let us discuss this issue, and then we'll bring some experts here so that we can all be able to be on the same page. But however, all I'm saying is simply this. One life is so much. 35 is unthinkable. Of children, not adults who have lived their life and they have, quarter to go and then eventually got started. No, children who are just coming to society. It is concerning. It's a problem. And if the government is not doing anything at this point, it is even more concerning that, arresting the queen is not good enough. What about the people who are supposed to have put things in place? What was the arrangement made at that point? Were the police contacted? If the police was contacted or not contacted, when they saw a large number of people gathering in one place, up to the tune of 7,000 people, what was the police doing? Where was the police in this case? Because here, other places, if you see a gathering of over 100 people, you find out that you see 2-3 police cars, just, not even uninvited. They are just there watching what is going on. I went to Jesus Church in DC, and when I came out, I was surprised to see more than 5 police cars. Okay, because there was a gathering of people in church. They were just parked there and just waiting. Okay, and then I asked my friend who took me, why are these guys here? I said, oh no, they always come in here to to just make sure everything goes on. It goes on properly. So they are there to see if there's any eventuality for any form of assistance. They will intervene immediately. Are we not human beings, Dr. Rudolph? Are we trying to reinvent the wheel? And this is not there written in black and white. Procedures for this, procedures for that, procedure. what is taking us so long to learn simple arithmetic, simple A, B, C, D, E, F. That's what I find strange. And that's why I say maybe there's something beyond the natural we're not seeing that is now affecting the system in Nigeria. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Let's go to Henry. Henry.
You see this rampage about this rice selling, sharing, whatever. If there is, you see, Nigeria is so people are hungry. They make Nigeria poor to become beggars in their own country. That is why you see this disaster everywhere. Nigerians don't know how to be patient. First of all, if you go to a restaurant, maybe a fast food restaurant, you want to buy something, they're supposed to queue up. You that is first in the car to order your food. You stand there waiting for them to give you your food. Somebody will just come, go through your front without them queuing. Then I have to tell them, go back and queue. Be patient. Nigerians are not trained to be like this, like the Western country. Because the government himself, they follow shortcuts. If they make the organizers support, these organizers, they travel abroad, they see how they share things to the people. Right? Where these things where they have this rice to share, they could make it this far away from where the people are going to stand. They will have a barricades where people can go through, like just like the way you want to book a flight or you want to check in. You stay online, far away from the counter or whatever, where they want to share these things. Put security there where you can control them. They should organize this properly. You know, every time we have the same problem, repeat the same problem every time. It's so alarming. You see, those people the organizers are supposed to be responsible for this disaster. Forget about they want to help people. This is not the way to do it. They should do it right. You know, you see, if it's a country where we have hungry, people are hungry. 80% of Nigerians are hungry in that country. 80% are hungry. 20% are enjoying their life. 80% is poor. Poverty. You go to Nigeria and say you want to share 5,000 naira for everybody. You will see, or 500 naira. You see people will line up. Grown-up men will line up. People are hungry. Why? Every politicians, the elite politicians, they plan this for a very long time as a weapon to make Nigerians think of their stomach. They should not think beyond their stomach. Rudolph, I bet you, the situation that brings this rampage is hunger. The hunger is too large. It's too much in that country. It's too much. The so-called politicians, they know this. When somebody come and say it's ritual, maybe they use them for ritual or this is a bunch of, I don't want to use one word here, you know. They don't use, I don't believe, listen, I'm a pure Benin, local Benin man. There's something like you do ritual, somebody do ritual will help you to become rich or whatever. It don't help. Why the so-called people who do ritual, they don't become billionaires? I have Ghana friends. He asked me, are we Nigerians are not stupid coming to Ghana to do medicine, but Ghana people, they cannot even, they know this is not working. It's no. Let's call a spade a spade. This problem is hunger. The hunger is too much in that country. They don't have Nigeria don't have social system. You know it. Like UK, so you live in UK. A lot of British don't like to work. They collect social benefits, you know now. Not they know to drink every weekend. Like Germans, some Germans don't want to work here. Government give them social, they pay for their house rent, their light bill, they get money to feed. Do Nigeria have anything from the government? No. If Nigerians are getting social system, this kind of rampage will not happen. Instead of them to bring this kind of, they should create social system where people who are not working, they have the data who are not working, they get money from the government every month. This kind of disaster will not occur. But the state governors, the local government, the president, they know all these things to do in that country. They don't want it. They want you people to be hungry, so that you will not tick twice. You become a beggar in your own country. In any developed country, have you ever seen something like this? If anybody says something like this, they should come up and tell me. No. Hunger is the weapon for the Nigerian. They used to against the Nigerian people. It is time for Nigeria to stop. Say, you know what, I prefer to be hungry and fight against this this mess that's going on in that country. It's a weapon they use against the Nigerian people. We should stop. We should start to stay against these things.
All right, thank you, Henry. Sully, you're next.
Well, there are some things I haven't had the time to come online, so there are some things a lot of people got wrong, especially with this Dele Farotimi situation. You know, when I watch these platforms, I watch them religiously, obsessively, So when Nnamdi Kanu was doing his live stream, I used to watch his sessions, whether I did it in the night, whether I did it in the afternoon. I noticed that a lot of people don't know the real Nnamdi Kanu. They never watched his streams, so they defend him a lot. But I dare Radio Biafra to upload the last live streams on the last month of when Nnamdi Kanu was talking. That's what got him picked up in Kenya. As for Dele Farotimi, the book has been out for months. It has been out for months. He has been pushing it. Dele Farotimi is not the only one that wrote about Afe Babalola. Plenty of people have written about him. Plenty of people have complained about him. Plenty of people have tried to fight him in court in Ekiti. It's not brand new. Dele Farotimi was arrested because he called for a sit at home in the southwest. But the government used that defamation case. You don't agree with me? Oh no. Okay, you can go to his YouTube page, you can watch his live stream. The reason why he called for that press conference was that sit at home that he called for. I didn't really take it serious because I know my southwestern people, I didn't think they would do sit at home or anything, but he seemed serious about it and he called that press conference, and that's when they went to go and carry him.
Rudolph, are we changing the topic now?
This is part of the topic. It's Dele
No, we are not going to this topic yet. I thought we were going to this rampage.
Henry, leave it to me. I know, but you're right. So we are talking about the Stampede in Ibadan and Okija for now. So we go one topic after the other, not all the topics on the headline, the title of the show.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. As for the rampage, well, I've given my own opinion on it. I gave it very briefly. They need to be organized. The government needs to be involved. The government needs to set up policies. But I know they won't. If there was a smart politician, you would use this to his advantage and use it to ride on the wave. But as we can see, most politicians rig their way in. So they don't know when to be strategic. They don't know when to use things like this to their advantage. And they are just going to let it pass by. People are not strategic in that country. People don't know when to climb on a wave and use it against the government because they have no united agenda. Everybody is just there for themselves. And if you don't have a united agenda like APC, no matter how APC fights, they always come together for one goal. That is why you can never beat them. And I always try to tell people this thing. You will never be able to win any election. Anybody can win election in Nigeria. That's my own belief. Even a beggar. You just have to have a united agenda. Just one agenda that all of you want. You guys don't need to know how you are going to get it. Everybody pulls in their own force. Everybody pulls in their own strategy. This is going to come. You know how Nigeria is. By next week, everybody will forget about it and will be thinking about the next tragedy. So people lost their lives. It's normal. People have been losing their lives in the north, especially. We tend to ignore the north, but nobody's talking about it. So this will happen in the south. So everybody is screaming, yelling, and shouting. It's going to pass on and move on. I don't really have much to say about it. I know what is going to happen. So,
all right, thank you. Ikena San Antonio, you're next.
Dr. Damages, thank you for the opportunity. I think I disagree on two things. So Shaw said and KJ. The first thing is that talking about giving scholarship. People give scholarship. You can give us scholarship in the world, but hunger. If you're hungry, you cannot be able to study. That's number one. And who said that the person that this stampede happened didn't haven't given scholarships? They have given scholarships. Unfortunately, the hunger is so bad that it's difficult to control. Anything you say that you're gonna do in the East right now, where I come from, people will be everywhere. You can't control it. But now, this is where we hold the government accountable for their behavior. The government have failed the people. And Oga KJ, now forget about the ritual thing. That is nonsensical. Scientifically, that is nonsensical. I'm sorry to say I'm not disrespecting what you said. It's what we believe in the olden days. Man, there is nothing like I sell your organ, so let's not talk about that part. But unfortunately, the laws and the people that are running Nigerian society have failed Nigeria completely. And that's what I have. Feliz Navidad for everybody. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. Dr. Damages, continue your work. We'll see you in January, man.
All right, thank you,
It's gone. I was going to see on Iroko Post TV, but it's gone.
Yeah, he's gone, I think. Thank you. Mr. James.
Yes, please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I want to look at this problem from a slightly different point of view. The fact that most of us do not believe in African traditional religions does not mean that the religion is non-existent. I remember when I was a little boy. Hello? You wanted to say something?
I didn't want to stop you. Go ahead. I wanted to say that whether using people for ritual is now African religion. Whether it's African, is that the new African religion or the old one?
No. The issue is this. The fact that I believe something does not mean that it is true or false. For example, people believe that Jesus is coming back again. If it is true or false, that is a different matter. When I was a little boy, I remember my father was into this African traditional religion, which people call Juju or whatever they call it. I did not agree with him on these things, so I wasn't getting along with him as far as religion was concerned, because we have a very
All right.
Why?
Mr. James, maybe they've come for you, the local religious people.
Jesus don't catch him.
Oh, the Jesus people catch you. Okay, it was Jesus people that caught you. All right, we'll get back to you when you figure that out. Chim, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rudolph, for having me, and felicitation to everybody. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas ahead. What is happening is the combination of Ibadan, Abuja, and where's that place in Anambra State, Okija, is a function. You see, I'm trying to put it in a very succinct way, in a way that makes sense. When a society consistently goes through a situation, perhaps it's time for people to, pause and do some deep searching. But it doesn't look to me like we Nigerians, and I'm not absolving the average Nigerian, including myself, because I know we point fingers at the government, and rightfully so. If we should point fingers at the government. But you see, the government doesn't fall from an Iroko tree. The government comes from within. The people who populate the government come from amongst the citizenry. And so it's an evidence that this is how all of us think. Somebody said, now data we go shop. Now data we go shop. It is in our statistics we go shop. But it's statistics that you use to, even when you want to do good, when you want to do social service events like this, you use data. You use data to find out how many people live in this place. The venue we want to put, I'm sure that was not for me, Sha. I hope that was not for me.
It's not. It's Solly's alarm.
Okay, all right. So, all of us here, we live abroad. We live in the Western world. We have food bank here. The food bank uses data to know how many people. Nobody just walks into a food bank. First of all, they give you an appointment. So that appointment, they have how many number of people who are going to come there on that day. They know. They will find out how many members in this family husband, wife, how many children, so that they make arrangements, they make space for you. If you are not supposed to be there on that day, they don't want to see you. If the state council is doing any social intervention, it's the same thing. They use data. When churches here also want to do the same thing, it's the same thing. They send information ahead. Nobody does. The charity work they do here is not the way we do Saraka, the way our people do it. Our people do things to show off. And in the process of that showing off, it leads to problems. And that is that show off that makes somebody to say, now data we go shop. Because his wife will suddenly wake up from nowhere and give 8-point-something billion. That we're asking, which work was this woman doing that she has 8-point-something billion she's donating?
Somebody that was begging Shetima's wife for 2 million naira.
I don't get it, my brother. So the area I want to go is this area of data. Look at what lack of data is costing Nigeria. Let's do census. Let's know how many people live in Kaura Namuda versus Aba. It becomes a problem. The man in Kaura Namuda will say the one in Aba will want to cheat him. I will count my cows and put him through it. And I don't mean it in an ill way. It's just the truth of what is going on. Can we see it? People are going to come for my head now for saying this and start posting $2 and saying things. This is the reason. Let's stop behaving the way we behave. Let's stop behaving the way we behave. I took a challenge at some of my peers who live here in Calgary with me. I told them, you people have not changed though. All of you are still behaving like the typical Nigerians I knew when I was working with you back home in Nigeria. All of you. Because the kind of things they were saying, I was asking, are these people the people who have come to the Western world? At least, the truth about the matter is, let's say there's a way you see life. And you go somewhere else, say, oh, wow, I had it upside down. So the way I was looking at it was wrong. Then you make a change. Nigerians were incapable of changing. We just want to go ahead with this. We're the biggest nation on the earth, the most populous. Somebody told us that by 2050, we will outpopulate the US. Achievement. Imagine the guy, that is the achievement. Well, maybe the gods that Mr. James is talking about have started taking that population away small by small. Unfortunately, the people in Ibadan became victims. The ones in Okija became victims. The ones in Abuja became victims. Like Soli said, it's not going to stop. We saw this during the days of Abba Moro. You want to do exam. You didn't take statistics of people who will come for the exam. You didn't take statistics of the size of the place where you want to do the exam. You just flooded the stadium with people and then there was a stampede. I want to bring out that statistics for us. That's where I'm going to. Now, statistics we go shop is showing now that now truly we need to shop statistics.
All right.
Yeah, we need to shop it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Just on statistics, if we have 1,000 people give $2, that will be $2,000, and we can do a lot with that. We are hoping to hire reporters and producers. So I don't like people talking statistics and putting down people who are donating $2. So $2 will end up doing a lot for us, and we can do wonders. Also, in terms of the scholarship show, I think there's something I wanted to say, and I think they pointed it out, that you can display that. You can give scholarship to 2,000 people. People don't know. And most of these people who give, sometimes they want to know that people to know that they are giving. So
yeah, I was going to react, but I felt like there was no need. People need to be alive, because I can come back and say people need to be alive to enjoy whatever you're giving them. Yeah. They need to be alive. So, but hey.
All right. Hold can I'll come back to you, Sully. Just hold on. Okay, let me get to can I go ahead?
Yeah, I came to pursue those village people away from Mr. James. Mr. James gone. They will not come back again.
Thank you so much indeed for understanding me. Yes, the point I was making is this. When I was a little boy, I could not get along with my father over this issue of religion. And I remember as a little boy, he used to take me normally in the evenings, late evenings, to this Babalawo kind of stuff, because we grew up in Akure when I was a little boy. When we get there, you meet people you least expect to be associated with this kind of religion. And when they get there, they tell you, my uncle in the US asked me to do certain things. They tell funny stories to cover up, the shameful situation they found themselves. Now, these are people officially, they tell you, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, and that's officially at their places of work. But behind the scene, they do something different. Now, we have been colonized by the British. Long before now, I think it was in the reign of James I, that was around the year 1603 when he ascended the throne of England. I think it was in Scotland. Eventually became the King of England, he ascended the British throne around 1603 or thereabout. They were busy executing witches and wizards in their country. And it got to a point whereby they executed thousands of people. That was their belief. But there came a period they called the Age of Reason, when philosophers and critical thinkers started questioning how society is being organized. Philosophers like David Hume, John Locke, Adam Smith, and quite a lot of British philosophers, they were empiricists. They believe in empirical verification of facts and assertions, whereas the continental Europeans like Rousseau, Voltaire, Soren Kierkegaard, and others, they were rationalists. So this has sort of influenced their legal systems. The British legal system is built on empiricism. When you go to a British court, like the type we have in Nigeria, all their evidence is based on empirical evidence. They don't accept what I call spectral evidence. That is, I had a dream. In my dream, you killed Mr. John. Such things are not admissible in British courts. Whereas in the continental courts, they believe in rational verification of facts and assertions. So if we are now assessing what is happening in Nigeria, from the British point of view, that is empirical verification of facts, we will not see the reason behind inviting a group of children to be fed, in public. When my father was doing this kind of things, the native doctors normally tell him, go and pull out charity, feed the people so that your ancestors will do X, Y, Z. These things cannot be verified empirically. If they're actually working or not, that is a different matter. It is a religion. Just like witchcraft, for example. Witchcraft, I see it as a religion. And actually, they've been unfairly persecuted. There's no difference between witchcraft, Christianity, and Islam, as far as I'm concerned. They are religious, a movement. So that is how I see it. These people who are assembling people in Nigeria to feed children and these are instructions they received from native doctors. They give them things they contaminate most of the foods they give the people so that the people will like you, so that they think well of you. And in most cases, it is their husbands who normally send them, if they are women, to do this kind of things for them. So that in the next general election, you win election. In Liberia, for example, there are numerous cases of ritual murder in Liberia and even Sierra Leone to some extent, because mischievous politicians commit murders in order to win elections. I think it was in the year 1979 or thereabouts. Some people were hanged in Harper, Maryland County, in Monrovia, in Liberia, over this ritual murder business. In fact, Liberia is a home of ritual murder. I don't really mean to denigrate the country, but this is the established fact. Now, there is what we call, Mr. KJ, correct me, syncretism. Syncretism is practicing more than one religion at the same time. You can be a Muslim and a Christian concurrently. That is syncretism. Most Christians we have in southern Nigeria, where I grew up, they practice syncretic religions. I grew up in Benin City. I know a lot of people, not all of them though, a lot of them who practice native religions, and at the same time they go to church on Sundays. Even the Oba of Benin, I don't mean to denigrate him, I revere him so much. He's a member of the Arosa. There's a church that's somewhere around Arosa when I was there in those days. He goes to church, and at the same time, he's practicing African traditional religion in his palace. This is a syncretic way of, syncretic form of religion. Please, I'm not denigrating the man because I have I revere the institution so much. So religion is a matter we cannot examine empirically. So this is why some people are disputing the fact that these things are juju connected. We should not rule out that fact. But if they are actually getting what they want from these juju practices, that is a different thing, because no African country up to now has won the World Cup, Football World Cup, despite all the juju and whatever we are doing. I mean, among ourselves. So that my friend Mr. Henry is disagreeing with me. Okay, every man is entitled to his opinion, no matter how erroneous it is. But this is my opinion. People are practicing syncretism, practicing more than one religion at the same time. When I was in Akure, even in Benin City, there were some people they called Bomo Bomo. As little children, we are warned to be very careful of Bomo Bomo. Bomo Bomo, I think it means my Yoruba is not good. Anyway,
so people will steal children.
The same thing of kidnapping.
Very good.
They kidnap
They
people.
kidnap the
It's
children.
kidnapping.
They kidnap the children with the hope of making money. But you demand making money for people. Why not make the money for yourself instead of charging the people to make money for them? So these are things we should take into consideration. There's no smoke without fire. Here in the Gambia, they have a saying: the hippopotamus does not open its mouth for riverbeds to peck at as a mark of a charity. It is a desire for a clean mouth rather than charity that made the hippopotamus to open its mouth for riverbeds to peck at. These are heartless politicians feeding people they've impoverished. What is their motive? Is it an act of charity or a desire for a clean mouth? This is what we should take into account. Thank you very much. Please, if there's no objection to what I've said, I would like to sign out.
All right, thank you. I don't want I have issues, but if we go there, then we go away from the topic. Let's see, Akene, if you can, maybe one day we'll make this a topic of discussion. I really want to get into how people believe this and things like that, because you are talking about empirical proof, and then you are talking about something that has no empirical way of proving that is happening. But anyway, we'll get to that, Mr. James, one day.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Damage.
Merry Christmas. Now, which one? I see your comment. Merry Christmas.
I've not seen that in the Bible, so I don't celebrate that until I see it in the Bible. But this is it. Sometimes it's difficult to understand how things happen in Nigeria. I don't know. Somebody was asking Rudolph when was the last time he went to Nigeria. Maybe he has disconnected from what is going on back home. KJ and Mr. James, I will agree with some of what they've said. And this is it, Dr. Damages. And any other person that is disagreeing with this sacrifice of a thing. I think in Yoruba land, they call it Ebo, EBO. In Igbo land, they call it Aja, Ajopoluzo, or Aja Gwemmadu. And in Hausa, they call it Sadaka. They're not. See, people go to juju men, and the juju man will ask them to bring their mother for sacrifice or bring their child for sacrifice. And they will, I don't want to use stupid, they will offer their loved ones for sacrifice. When in actual sense, the voodoo man is a poor guy. So if the voodoo man is capable of making you rich, why is he finding it difficult to make himself or even his children that are into all manner of drug addiction? Why is he finding it difficult to make his own self or his own children rich? But he would deceive you to sacrifice your loved one. And this is how you end up wasting your loved one. See, somebody, because of his political affiliation, was made the Oni because of political affiliation, not because of the fact that the gods called him to be Oni. Because of his political affiliation, they made him Oni. And in his little mind, the only way to keep the power, I'm not accusing anybody, I did not call anybody's name, please. For him to maintain the power or to gain more power, he has to be doing sacrifice every year, annual sacrifice. And for him to be doing it himself may drag kind of pull attention. So his wife, concubine, ex-wife had to be doing it on his behalf. See, if you want to offer food to children, why not give it to the parents directly to take to the children? Why must you gather children, 5,000 children or even more, and life wasted? And we have another one in Anambra State where women were just wasted because of rubbish. See, I don't believe in juju. Whether it works or it don't work, I don't believe in it, and I don't want to believe in it. But those people fall victim to this? Yes, they are being deceived that when you offer this sacrifice, when you pull crowd, and for the voodoo to be effective, there must be a stampede, and they will carry it that way. For people to fall to this kind of falsehood is what actually troubles me. But if voodoo happens or not, the person that should be questioned about this juju should be what's his name? Yakubu, the INEC chairman, and Tinubu. They are the cause of this sacrifice. They are the cause of this death. Because if they had not brought this good for nothing old man in Aso Rock, there wouldn't be this level of hunger in Nigeria. Your wife shouldn't be queuing up. Your mother shouldn't be queuing up for just a mere small half bag of rice. Children shouldn't be queuing up in another man. Your child shouldn't go to another man's house to collect food. So they are the voodoo men, they are the juju men that are causing this death in Nigeria. Left, right, and center everywhere. These are the ones that you've seen on TV. How about the ones that we have not shown on the TV? So they are the cause. And for you that you are supporting Tinubu, you that are supporting the present APC government, you are part of all this problem. The blood of these dead people is on your head.
All right, thank you, Kene. I have someone from Okija joining us in about 5 minutes to give us some update on the situation there. Dr. Chidi, I don't know whether you practice juju or not, but maybe you can help us understand, because I'm getting confused. Kene connected it all the way to Mahmoud Yakubu, you know. Chidi, welcome.
Thank you so much. I would have told the line of Kenneth, but just that this thing, the thing that vexed me. I'm just passing by. Once again, I want to appreciate what you guys are doing. It's very remarkable. More grease to your elbows. I look for the time when you guys will be competing with CNN and all the other places. I know it will come. It will come. Kudos to you. By the way, have we reached 1,000 subscribers?
Oh, that's true. That's a good reminder. We are. Let me see. Sure. Where are we? On Iroko Post. I don't know. Iroko Post TV. Please. December is 1 week. January is 1 week away. We are moving to Iroko Post TV. Please subscribe. We are less than 200. I think 100 and something left to get to that point. So
all right.
Yeah, go
so
ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that in. So like I was saying, I would have really told Kenneth's line, but this thing, the way they pain me, it's just so appalling. Just looking at even one person, one day, you see, life has lost value. Life has lost value in our place so much. Like, you just see this last video, you just see dead body. You just like it's not human beings anymore. Just lying down. They don't really bring coffin. They'll just carry them and just go, and that will just end it. And it's like we're talking about. You see the numbers: 30-something, 20-something, and in Nigeria, if they tell you 30-something, that means it's about 50, because there's no record. Like when it happens, some people would have carried. Nigeria now. When it happens, some people will carry their people and run to hospital. Do you understand? So when you start counting, remember in the commotion, people are falling down, they are carrying them inside vehicle, they are running, some people are running home, some people are going to pour them water. So by the time everything settles, when that counting was done, is when everywhere had settled. People have run away, carried the people that they carried away. Some people came there, they don't want somebody to know that they came. So the people that are carrying them are hiding them. So when you see 30 in Nigeria, it's not 30, it's like 50 or 60. And nobody, when their own dies, they won't bring them out again to come and say this is what happened. It just happens. No accountability, nothing. And the perpetrators will always go scot-free. I see, like Kenneth said, we never used to go. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Hey. And wow, this is Nigeria. Oh. Hey. Hi, man. This is Nigeria. We are now carrying plates to go and line up to get food. Hey. Hey, God, man. It's not going to be good for these people. Do you understand? We are carrying food and we'll record it. The government will even organize it. Do you understand? We'll be proud to call it like we will buy the rice and store it months ahead of time. Our people will be hungry. We'll buy it and keep and be waiting for the day that we'll line them up and take pictures and take video as one of the accomplishments. Food, rice, just rice. Do you know what it will take for you to feed a whole? When I was campaigning for governorship, I sat down and I worked it out. And I saw that I could feed the whole of Enugu State from one farm, just one farm. Rudolph, it doesn't take much. Do you know the amount of, just like how many silos, you know those silos that they put that they store grain? If I tell you the quantity you need to feed a whole state, you won't believe it. You can get this from just one town, not even a local government, to feed the whole state. And a nation like Nigeria cannot feed its own people. And we are proud. And it is a topic for discussion. This is the kind of thing that the government should be blanketing. They should be covering it. They shouldn't let it come out. Let it not be heard in the streets. This is our own literature. That this the thing they should be writing poems about. Let it not be seen. Let the world not see that in Nigeria people are being rice is being shared. Not to talk of even dying out of it. It is not the kind of thing that should make news. Not at all. But they have degenerated to where it's not just sharing the food, but that people will die and die and die again. When I was going to talk about the Stampede in Ibadan, then I did a research. Oh my God. I just started popping up. One happened in February. What happened 2 years ago? What happened where custom was sharing? What happened? It's been happening. And people have been dying. And I'm like, what kind of rubbish is this? Let's just close this country and start. I don't know. One day you just wake up and people have just died. No reason, just dead bodies. No, just people just die. That's what it's going to get to. Sorry, bros. I need to go. I just came here to
Dr. Chidi.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I want to say something to you, please. Last time on this platform, I've forgotten, maybe Showore or Simon Eba came up here and something happened. You voice out whomever that you putting your support for, and I think I was carried away. Maybe I was a little emotional, and I came to you personally, maybe on the comment section. And Ndeba, I see that what you don't want others to do to you, don't do it to someone, you know. So because of that, I felt bad that I was attacking you personally. So please, while forgive, please, it's
you don't know
I didn't
me.
mean it, you know.
No, you don't know
Yeah,
me.
it's not part of me,
I
man.
don't even remember what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
sorry.
No.
Since that day, I kept having this personal guilt. Why am I attacking this man?
No.
He didn't do anything wrong to me. He's just supporting his candidate. So why am I taking it personal?
See,
So
my brother,
my apology.
No,
Please.
I apology accepted, but I'm not an apology person, honestly. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. If you want to apologize to me, do something that will make Tinubu's government fall, then I will. That's more important to me than apology.
No, Allah. No,
don't tempt Kenel.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. I just want to run and take care of something. Show and KJ and Dr. Chidi, thank you. We take over. Okija is here. Okija is from Okija, so maybe he can give us an update on what is happening in Okija.
Okija is Okija. Are you part of those that organize the killing of people in Okija?
You're muted, Okija. You want to unmute yourself? Oh, it's gone. Okay, he'll probably join again. I mean, Emmy. Is it Emmy? Have I pronounced it properly? I see people struggling. Emmy. Okay. I thought it was quite simple, but people are still going to struggle tonight. Don't worry. Because every time I'm watching, I'm like, it's Emmy. Emmy. But anyway, welcome to the show. While we wait for Okija.
It is like, hey, me.
Yeah, Amy, yeah. So, okay, welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
What do we owe the pleasure? You usually come in a bit later. But we're talking the Stampede. You'll be the last to chime in on it, except Okija comes back to chime in on the... Oh, okay, Okija is back. Chime in on the unfortunate incident that's happened across the country, Ibadan, Abuja, and Anambra. Just quickly, what's your take on it?
Are you talking to me or Okija now?
Yeah, you can talk on it briefly. Then we'll go to Okija to get more in depth on what happened.
No, let's Okija continue.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Good day, everyone. Nice to join you guys this afternoon. Yeah. I mean, I just woke up about an hour ago, but because I have to stay up, and because there was so much news coming from Okija, videos, all over the place. I started coming in like around 2 a.m. US Eastern time, and the videos. I mean, that's one thing we have to talk about Nigeria. This social media thing, people all over, when people, no respect to, dead people, you just people videoing, you see people videoing, or dead people, is so many, images, people, the way they died, some people unclad, they taking all those pictures there. But the main issue is, the hunger, the starvation in Nigeria. I mean, I don't know if there is heaven. If there is God, I don't know why he's still, preserving Tinubu. But I mean, that's another discussion. There's so much, because I grew up in Anambra State, and I mean, no matter how bad it was, we had things to eat, and people had things to give to other people. But I know the unprecedented level of hunger in the southeast, it's unbearable. Obi Jackson, he's one of the richest people in Nigeria. He has an oil servicing company. He's done so many good things in Okija. He built university. International high school, primary and secondary school. He has a big hospital in Okija, heart hospital in Okija. And he's done so much, golf course, hotels. He has so many investments in Okija. So he's a polarizing figure in Okija. Some people hate him, some people adore him. But he has been doing this charity work over the years. Every year he gets people from Okija, less privileged. He gives them rice, he gives them other things, I think, chicken and stuff, things like that, oil, things like that. He's been doing it for so many years now. But this year, because of the hunger in the land, and because he extended the charity to the whole of Ihiala local. Okija is in Ihiala local government. Ihiala local government has about 10 of 12 towns. And then so he extended it to the whole local government, and then to other neighboring local government, people who are close to Okija, like Iyembosi, Opo, those who are in another local government, but they are close to Okija. So a lot of people came in, and they're supposed to have, there was a time set for the event to start, but people came in in the night, like 3 a.m. People were there. People were coming from all over the place, and then and it was still dark, and the stampede started, and some people died of exhaustion. So many people, about 20 people, from the last count I got when I woke up, about 20 people. Then they were speculating about 60 people, when I was watching following the event early in the day. So that's basically what happened in Okija, and some people, Nigeria. Now, when things happen, he's a rich man. Some people have said it's speculating. He has used them to do juju. So many things, going on. So in Okija, because I belong to so many Okija forums, so things has been flying there and there. Some people just angry. Some people asking people to calm down for peace, and it's just Nigeria. I don't know. I was having a discussion with someone the other day, and we got talking. I talked about the Bible, but I don't know if it was for Christians who are here or those who have read the Bible. The story of Lazarus and the rich man. The rich man died, and Lazarus died. Lazarus, because he was holy, so he got to the bosom of Abraham, and the rich man, because he was ungodly, so he he went to hell, and from there he was begging Abraham to have Lazarus give me some water, and but Abraham told him no. So then he decided, to have his people, to have someone in heaven go to heaven, to earth, and tell his brothers, 5 brothers, to to change. And then, because I started thinking about it, so people in the other world, they feel things. So I'm just beginning to, I was started thinking. So even in Nigeria, when you die, even if you are in heaven, you are not sure of resting in peace, because you will be always thinking about people, things. I mean, I don't know, how would these people think? People that died, even some of them made heaven, how would they be thinking? What would they have peace even in heaven? Will they rest in peace in heaven? It's just Nigeria. I don't know. Nigeria is suffocating. Nigeria is killing people. To be honest with you, I mean, whatever we will need to do, if it means breaking up Nigeria, so that I'm not saying that the issue is more of on Nigeria, but Nigeria is a factor, the major factor. If the central government is not performing, how will the regional governments, the state and local governments, what would people expect from them? So in Nigeria is becoming a disaster. Yeah, these people die because of Nigeria. That's all.
All right. Thank you, Kija. It just makes me wonder, Emmy, maybe you can consider this when you give your submission. You would like to think we don't live in silos in Nigeria, social media, news. So the event in Ibadan happened before the one in Abuja, before the one in Anambra. You would think the people who are planning to give out things, if you're planning such stuff, even if you're not planning, you would have heard about the incident that happened before yours, should have gone into the better planning or cancellation or re-strategizing, because tomorrow somebody else will still say, I want to give out stuff, and we have another incident. But the floor is yours, Emmy.
Thank you very much. Greetings to everybody on the panel and the listeners. It is sad, really, that the larger people of larger community in Nigeria, we don't really have patience. We lack organization. That capacity to self-organize, and that is really a sad thing, because when you look at other places, there's a level of humanity that comes with living. There's a level of respect that comes with living, that should be attached to you as a person. But in Nigeria, you hardly find that, especially as a collective. You ask the question that, okay, it has happened in Ibadan. Shouldn't that have informed others who are trying to also do such, to plan better? But we all know that those who want to give it, they were not necessarily bothered about how the planning was going to happen. They were just bothered about showing themselves as the givers. You see, there's that roughness, there's that crudeness. We are not sophisticated. We are not. We don't even respect it. We don't respect life. We don't even look. And funny thing is that this thing happens as a collective, because individually, when we go other places, we tend to comport ourselves. But when we come together, that critical mass to do nonsense just makes everybody turn weird. You just become wild, you become weird, you become crazy. You just have to, you just have to be part of it. Because funny thing is that for those who want to be good, it is the same set of people that will criticize those people like they are too dull, or they are too slow, or they are not smart, they are not wise. And I know a lot of people, even on this platform, would have criticized one or two persons as dull, slow, you're not wise. This is the kind of system you breed when you want everybody to be smart and wise. Look, I used to remember one time while I was in the university doing the P degree then, in the mid-2000s. We would queue to get into class, a class that starts 8 o'clock. We would have been there by 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And we stayed there. Because when you have a class of 400 and you are putting like 1,008, 2,000 students in there, how do you survive to get a space? There was one thing that happened to me one very day that made me laugh.
Which university is that?
Huh?
Which university was that?
I would like to keep the university now. But we were squeezing ourselves on getting, you're trying to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze with your bag and everything, your textbook in your bag, on trying to get to the door. The force we are taking you to the door, but the force wouldn't take you past the door. Because if everybody wants to enter at the same time, everybody gets stuck. So it's either that backs are breaking for somebody to move on, or the trouser is tearing for somebody to move on. And for you to get over that door, just from that space into the other space, something must break from your body. That is from the university. That was the mind. And funny thing is that instead of administration to fix it and tell students, come, all of us are not going to benefit if we are trying to be out, if we are trying to outsmart the other person. It is not a sin to, it is not foolish to be slow. It is not unwise to relax and let some other persons lead the way. You get the point. These are ways you build mindsets. But when you get there, even the professors, the lecturer will even say, you can see the smarter ones. They are the ones sitting at the front. So if you are at the back, or you are not, even you're outside, one way or the other, you are not smart enough. And everything in Nigeria is competition. So before you know, you want to be smart next time. So as a result of that, some people will want to get there by 2 a.m., even sleep on the door, even go and call the security guy by 1 a.m. to come and open, bribe the security, open the door so that you can lay your books in the spaces and pick for your friends as well. So before you know, that thing continues to cascade until that as you are standing up, somebody else is already sitting down for the next morning's program. So you can see it can be crazy sometimes like that, and use that mindset into everything we are doing in Nigeria. Job hunts, going to church is like that. You want to even look at the other time, like 2-3 days ago, some persons wanted to take a flight from, I think, Abuja to somewhere. They have their money, they are paying their money, they are not even paying small money. Flight. And look at what happened. They didn't even allow those who were coming down to come down. That is the mindset. We are just like, even hands are better organized than Nigerians on a group, generally. So it is sad that as a group, as a community, these internal strivings, let everybody outsmart themselves, has brought us to this point.
Okay.
And that is the, I'm sorry, I have been to South Africa. I was surprised the way they organized their driving. I don't know if there's any other land in this world that does that. Even without the traffic lights, in a cross junction, sure, the way vehicles organize themselves, you'll be surprised. They go in circles that if you get there, you look at who are the people that you met there, and you let them. It is just as if there's still traffic lights. Try that in Nigeria, sir. Even Nigerians going there to drive, you know that that's a Nigerian driving, because there's no patience. So it is sad, but that is where we found ourselves.
All right. Thank you for that submission. Ogasim, I was just about to call you to give the last submission regarding this issue, and we can move to the budget for 2025. But round off on the incident that happened across Nigeria, the Stampede, and you can start off on the budget. So just take the two in one.
Okay. Thank you, Sure. Good evening, everybody from here. Actually, I don't think I really have, there's anything I'm going to say that will be different from what most people have said about the Stampede. That is Nigeria writ large. That is the definition of Nigeria, an unorganized country. Now, people may say they are hungry. The people that died in the Stampede, they are hungry, they are looking for food, albeit a free food. What of the days of Abamoru, who want to organize an employment exam for candidates? He felt that maybe they will take some few, maybe, I don't know. He was the Minister of Internal Affairs. They want to recruit people into immigration and then everything. He felt that there's no hall that can contain them. He opted for National Stadium at Abuja. And what happened? There was stampede and people died looking for job. That is not for food. So when you look at it, it's just that in Nigeria, this idea that everything must remain the way it is. If you tell them, let us tinker Nigeria a little, even if you don't want, for me, I would have voted for a separate country, at least for my people. But people will say, no. Okay, let's tinker it a little. Let's tinker it a little, and then so that we can still remain one. But let us, even in your house, sometimes you decide to change this room, convert this room to this, convert this to this, extend this. It's still your house. Why can't we do such things? They say, no, the way it has always been, let it remain like that. So you tend to wonder. This is more. We've had more than enough sign. People died at Abuja. Look at Ibadan. The other day I was expressing sympathy. Now today, or was it today? Yes. Look at the one that happened at Okija. But that Okija, because I'm from Anambra State, why I'm particularly annoyed with that is something is avoidable from beginning to end, and I will tell you why. There were in 2020 during COVID and lockdown, people were sharing palliative all over Anambra State. All the billionaires, they were bringing money, donating. Even villages where those of us abroad, they will say contribute. We do it at the level of Omonna, from the town to the village to that level. Why can't these people, the way they share something in Igbo, at least in our area, is you want to give something to one particular town, you call the PG, that's what they call President General. He will come and then say, this is for your town. The PG knows how many villages makes up a town. He will call the chairman of different villages. Maybe your village will get 32 bags. Your own, there's a way they share it. So in the end, when you get to your area to share, it might not be more than 30 or maybe 20 something. You end up. So all this bringing, okay, like Okija said, a local government, probably they tell them everybody come to maybe Okija, and then you can imagine thousands that will be trooping. For this type of number to die, if they were only 100 people, this number won't die. If they were only 50, this number won't die. But for this number of people to die, it means there were maybe people coming in their hundreds. For what? It's not necessary. It's not necessary. So that's why this one I'm particularly pained by what happened at Okija. Because we in my area, I'm not trying to belittle others, but we know the way we share things like this. People give every Christmas, people give things free. People give, so many people donate, all these billionaires, they give packs of rice, so many wrapper to women. You don't bring them together and start all of them will be scrubbling. You share it according to Mona, villages. That is the way it's done. People won't even know. They will only tell you that our village, this man gave us something, after church, let's gather there. You are doing it at the village level. But look at what happened. It's a shame, really. And my heart goes out to those that lost their lives. Can I say, if let 2024 be the end of this type of avoidable circumstance in Nigeria? This is not a tragedy. This is not an earthquake. This is not a volcano. It's purely man-made due to lapse. Look at that of Ibadan. Can you gather people without health and safety? Not even people to control traffic or direct people. No, don't go there. Guide people. These are some of the things we learn abroad. I remember in those days in Cardiff, whenever Manchester United want to play, there's a way they put from the train station, they direct you, the fans coming from Manchester. This is the channel you have to take. They separate them. Not that people will fight, but they said no. They foresee problem before it happens. That's what they call, damage limitation. We've not got to the level of damage limitation. We haven't got to that until one day you start to see this type of thing. So to me, I'm really not happy, but my heart goes out to them. Please let 2024 be the last time we will hear this type of thing, so that we get into from 2025 to be a clean slate. We've had so much tragedy to have learned our lessons on how to crowd control. If you are doing anything up to 50 people, know how to control them. If it's where you have the army, this is even where they can need the military. Say, if you are coming, please don't go beyond here. At least you control than to leave everything for free for all. And then might is right. People will stampede on the other, and then that is the end. I'm so sorry. Then as per what will I say about the budget? As per the budget, hey, Jesus Christ.
No, we've not started. We've not discussed that. CM.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. It's okay.
All right. Thank you, Sho, for stepping in for me. Thank you, KJ. But CM, I want to start from where you stopped, which is let this be the last. It's not going to be the last. The only way it's going to even change is if we do something. If we talk about it and forget about it and go back home, you can be sure maybe Easter, the same thing will happen. So what are we going to do? What can we do to make a change? I think that's something that we keep missing in all these our conversations. And I'm beginning to think along that line, because maybe the idea is just not put on the table. Somebody might run with it. I gave an example on a different show where I told them about how Mothers Against Drunk Driving came together when drunk drivers in America were killing people and the laws were very lenient and nobody was doing much to stop it. They came together and they started lobbying lawmakers from state level, from local government level, and they were able to form a big force across the country and influence policies, real policies put in place. That is what should be the next way of thinking. If you don't see lawmakers in every state in Nigeria, every local government area, putting in place what should be done when you are going to get people to come together, maybe in your house for a party or through, if they don't put these things in place, nothing will change. We're going to come back here again and talk about things like this. Our people in government, you think about politicians and lawmakers, all of them, they've lived abroad. They saw that in every building, every hall, we host them here. When they come here, we host them. They see, when you're entering a hall, you see that there's capacity, there is police, and that if you call ambulances, they will come. I saw people being carried by hands out of venues of these incidents. There's no ambulance. It shouldn't be. So what I'm saying is that those who are listening, those who are here, anybody can lead that charge and say, look, I'm going to bring people together who are thinking like me. We are going to draft a bill laws that could be implemented at the state level, at the local government level, at the federal level. Sometimes these people don't even know how to write. These are lawmakers. If you know, some of them, their speeches are written by people who are not in government. So people, you'll be surprised how much you can actually go to them. And they want to be able to say, I pushed a bill, I pushed for this law to change. Maybe that's how to start. Organize people, victims of this. I know, sorry, what are you? Okay, go ahead. Bust my bubble.
Someone commented that you haven't been to Nigeria in a long time.
I was in Nigeria last year, so
but you
Dr. Rudolph, sorry. Tanker explosion and leakage, tanker, petrol tanker, falling, and then people scooping fuel. I mean, how else would you tell people not to go there? It's been happening for how many years, and people still go there.
No, it's not about telling people now. We know that there are people who will not. Okay, it's not about them now. In America here, they don't say people die from not wearing helmets. They didn't say, oh, we're not going to put a law in place and implement it and force people to wear it. If you don't wear it, you are fined. They didn't say, oh, people are stupid, let them go and die. No. So what I'm saying is, I know what you are going to. I know the tanker thing. People still go there and people will die. But we're not going to let them go and kill themselves and think it's okay because it's not us. We are going to say there's something that could be done. These police officers, you know one of the things I laugh when I see them in Nigeria collecting 15 naira. If they actually want to implement what is written in the law, they will give more money to the police in terms of fees than the 15 naira they collect from people. So, but they are not doing it. They don't know. I don't think they knew, or I don't know what the problem is. But someone has to try to find out what is the problem. How can we make that change? That's what I'm pointing out. It's not that I don't know the situation in Nigeria.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead. Who is speaking? Is this?
My name is KJ.
Okay, KJ, go ahead.
Okay. I have been involved in organizing medical mission for at least 15 years in Nigeria. Every year, more than 3, 4, 5 times. And some of these medical missions were about up to 10,000 people in those places. It's just a careful planning. You separate everybody in the lines that they are supposed to be, and you get people to marshal those places, and you make people respect the laws that you put in place to guide those lines. See what happened in our place, because we are limited, and when I say limited, we're limited because we don't have a fire service, we don't have the emergency medical thing, but you provide for yourself. So when we have such large things, we make sure we have not the fire service, but the medical emergency, the ambulance and all that, doctors, more than maybe sometimes we have up to 10, 20 doctors and nurses, maybe 50 nurses on the ground, because we know that there can be eventuality. So why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing it up to say that it's not because we don't lack or don't have capacity in Nigeria. There are so many churches, like the big ones, the Oedipos and all the rest. They all have emergency services on their premises where they're having those large gatherings. One of which I mentioned earlier is House on the Rock. They have a well-trained out protocol department that sometimes even the government rent them to do some of their protocol services. Why I'm saying that is because in Nigeria we take a lot of things for granted. We take it for granted that people will just come and organize themselves and be in the position they want them to be. It doesn't always happen so, because we are human beings. Somebody said Nigerians don't like to queue up. It's not true. It's because we make people to behave like animals. When somebody is hungry, and I give an example of myself, as me, I'm in that place, and my child, I have 5 children who have not eaten, and you're telling me to stand on the line when I know that the last bread is what you're holding. I will do everything possible to grab it for myself. That is what it is. People have now come to a place of, you gave an example of somebody going to scoop fuel. One time I sat down and I asked myself, how come you know that anything can happen and this place will blow up? What is the reason why people go there? And I heard so clearly that there's a kind of situation you are in that death is better than living. That is what it is for those Nigerians who engage in these things. And the government know it. And it has come to a point of control. It is controlled now. It's no longer we are governing. No. If you are so frustrated and you are handicapped You do whatever we say. If we say don't come to the street, you will not come to the street, because you know that if you come to the street to challenge our authority, you know what will happen to you. Let me tell you something. Even the program we're having now, how many Nigerians are watching it? This online program we're having and discussing this. How many? They can't even afford, data to even watch it. Okay, they can't. If they can even afford data, where is the lie to charge their cell phones?
AJ, sorry to
So
cut you. 30 seconds, please.
I don't know why I
They
want to
have,
cut
they
you.
have,
They always
some
have
they
it.
have the data. Some they have the data, but they have to watch Big Brothers. They have to watch Big Brothers. Things like
No,
this, they don't show interest.
listen. Here is the truth. The truth is that those people we are talking about are the same number of people who are oppressing the other people. How many people in my community watch that Big Brother? They don't even know what Big Brother is all about. They are looking for how to survive. Okay, and those of them who have, I speak to some people that I'm related to, and they tell me that, oh, I saw your missed call. When we finish speaking to people outside Nigeria, we switch off our data because that's the only way we can preserve it for another time. So in a nutshell, I'm saying that the people who have come to a place where dying is no longer any big thing to them, because you are here, you can't take care of your family, and sometimes become too frustrating for a man, and so they find a way to check out. That's it. Thank you, sir.
Can I?
Just before you speak, 2 seconds. I think KJ, I mean, you spoke well, but I think what Rudolph is saying is, your mission, you organize, right? But what Rudolph is advocating for is, let it be mandatory, not optional. You chose to. The big churches in Nigeria you mentioned, they choose to because they know better, But for those who would decide not to, I think what Rudolph is calling for is, if there are laws that mandate it, then you will keep doing what you're doing, but the rest of the people who are not doing it will have no choice but to join you. But Solly, please go ahead.
Actually, there's laws. There's a law mandating that this is what you need when you're having a big garden. It's there. It's not. There's no absence of it. It's there. They even tell you how many police people you have to get to be there when you're having such this thing. What they hear is some of the things. Sometimes, for instance, when we're having such things, each policeman we pay for fee is 50,000. Okay, so if you're going to have 10 policemen, you can times that by 10. Okay, and so sometimes people may feel that it's a waste of money, to have police people there. But sometimes the police will also keep people in check just by wearing uniform. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sully.
Yeah. So I'm a realist, and that's because I've experienced plenty elections myself. I've seen people come in, I've seen them go. I know why they came in. I know if you guys have very superb ideas, superb strategies that only work in first world countries. When you are dealing with Nigerians, that will not work. These politicians, they have companies. They know how to organize it. They know how to make everything structured. They know how to implement everything with proper safety standards. No mistake. If they want to put safety measures within the people, they can do it in less than a week. I know that. They can do it in a day, but they don't care. Give them all these ideas. You say, oh, they want to bring out the idea that they put law or they implemented. They don't care about all those accolades or this thing. How is it giving them money? How is it benefiting them money? If it's not benefiting them money, they don't want to hear all these things that you are saying. If it's not giving them voters, they don't want to hear all these things that you are saying. If it's not bringing up a crowd that will push their agenda into a higher political status, they don't want to hear all these things that you are saying. I'm not expecting anything from Nigerians because you guys talk from a place of privilege. You guys have access to the internet. You guys have traveled abroad. You guys have seen and experienced things that have changed your mind, changed your life, and changed your mindset. Majority of the population, I would say maybe even 95% of the population have never experienced that, and maybe over 80% will never experience that. They have to have a change of mindset, or the government has to implement this thing. The government does not care, and they will never experience this enlightenment. They will never experience it. When I was saying anybody can become president of Nigeria, some people were mocking and saying it's impossible. Tinubu, AC was not a big party. It was AC before it was APC. It was not a big party. PDP was controlling a majority of Lagos. They used to, do you know how many assassination attempts I've seen? There's even one that they pied the gate man. I was on the streets that day. That's how Lagos was. They just used to buy each other anyhow until Tinubu came. Use the same strategy that this Tinubu guy came. He took boys who were nothing from nowhere, Agberos, local boys from the hood, and turned them into big men, big politicians, because they all focused on one agenda. When they were going for PDP in power, all of them, they didn't have similar interests. They only had one interest that they shared in common. They wanted to remove PDP from power, first and foremost. If I still see some Obi supporters saying that Atiku should be Obi's vice president. That's how I know that those people, they don't even know anything. They don't even know anything. The right thing to do would be to let the same thing Tinubu did. Let the Northerners vote for their Buhari, and then you come in after. Let them vote for the Atiku, because we in the South, we tend to ignore these Northern people. We only come there when it's now time for election, and we say that, oh, they should vote for us. Do they know you? They don't know you. Do you know their problems? You don't know their problems. Tinubu knew their problems. He knew their leaders. I'm not saying you have to come and combine with corrupt politicians, but these people have people in their society who are upper echelons, and all the Northern people have to say is you are aligned with what their situation is going on. Their problem in the North is not the same problem in the South. You come here, you talk about all the problems of Nigeria and how you will not gain votes. You know the problem, fix it. You know that they are going to rig the election year, strategize. Instead of sitting down there and waiting for them to elect, look at the amount of people that voted. About 30% of the people who had voters card voted. Ask yourself, that's the remaining 70%. That's a lot of votes that you are missing out. How can you get that 70%? Why are they not voting? Is it because of lack of security? Look for where their Agberos, look for where their thugs. Map out. Nigeria has a map. Put your map. Take your time, painstakingly. Map out every local government area, everywhere that they are voting. Measure the election violence. Bring your own private security. If you have to raise funds, use Nigerian diaspora. Nigerian diaspora brings in more. So the amount of money Nigerian diaspora brings in every year is more than the investments that Tinubu has brought into Nigeria. If people in Nigeria don't want to come together to cooperate, to do sit at home, to protest, leave them. Don't come here and start blaming people who are not enlightened. Don't come here and start blaming illiterates. Don't come here and you sit down on a privileged high foot and you start blaming people that cannot even think for themselves. You that you claim that you are better, that you are abroad, why can't you organize? Why can't we all come together and say we are protesting? We are holding our funds from Nigeria for 1 month. Your family will not buy in 1 month if you don't send them money. The house you are building will not collapse in 1 month if you don't send money. If you don't send hospital bill, nothing will happen in 1 month. These people need your FX funds. They are making the passport process so easy for Nigerians, and we are not questioning why. They never do anything good for nothing. When you are looking at Nigeria's situation, always compare it to North Korea. I've always said Nigeria is North Korea 2.0. When they implement something, look at North Korea. Why did North Korea implement it? These people are giving people passports because they want more competent Nigerians who can get jobs to leave Nigeria and send money back. They are using you as cash cows and wallets to send more FX back into the country. When they are bringing their budgets, do you think they are not considering the amount of money coming from diaspora into Nigeria? They are considering your money also. Your FX gives them the ability to be able to exchange funds and steal and loot it. Even if it's 1 week, let us all come together with one goal. Hold your funds. Sit your funds at home. You literally will not lose 1 kobo by holding your money and not sending it to Nigeria. Strategize. When Nnamdi Kanu wanted to start his whole thing in Nigeria, he did not come and start shouting, oh, I'm going to bring security forces and destroy this whole place. He came and said he's bringing security forces to protect his own people. They got the abilities to get weapons. They got the ability to secure areas. That is strategy. You do not let them know when you are playing poker. You do not show everybody your hand. You get your cards and you look at everyone and you play your strategy. You implement people in key areas. We have the funds to mobilize, to push a candidate. We have the funds to support. If is it votes they want to buy, can they outspend us? In terms of buying votes, can they outspend us? You know, understand the Nigeria space. Do not expect it to change. Strategize with the playing field that you have. Stop playing it like you are in US. When you are in Rome, behave like the Romans. Are people buying votes? Yes. We're not changing that anytime soon. Capitalize on it. Can they outbuy us? No, never. We are bringing in dollars, pounds, euros, different currencies. They can never outspend us. You know, I like Sowore, but my problem with him is he has all this information, but he doesn't capitalize on it. You know, he's not aggressive enough, in my opinion. He's not strategic enough. He does not secure key areas. He can come here and confidently tell us how, you know, and I really wish you can bring him to the platform, and I want to speak with him, because I'm not trying to put him down, but I want more. I expect more. I expect more strategy. Don't give us all this information you have about Nigeria. Utilize it and tell us how we can help you, how we can come together. Even if we do not all agree, some people want their Biafra, some people want their Yoruba. Give us one thing that we can all join together, at least all of us together, and say that we are working towards this first and foremost. First and foremost, if people in Nigeria do not want to align, we will strategize and align for them. And they will follow. That is how Nigerians are in Nigeria. Once they see a strong branch, all of them want to attach towards it. They are not going to wait for change. Do not expect change. I'm not expecting any change from Nigerians. I'm not expecting them to stop selling their votes. I'm not expecting them to chase out the government. I'm not expecting them to do anything with any bright idea. If you laugh at them for watching Big Brother, it will continue like that for years. It is your job. You know the problem. You should strategize. And I'm not saying tell them to stop watching Big Brother. Capitalize on it. Why can't we bring money to put our own ads on that Big Brother that they are watching? Why can't we bring money to push our own agenda and make sure it is shown on that Big Brother? Capitalize. Tinubu capitalizes on problems. He doesn't complain about them. You have to play this same game as them. This guy is very easy to beat. He is very easy to beat. He did not get 50% vote. He did not get 40% vote. He got 1/3 of the votes with some corruption attached. Are they smarter than us? They are not smarter than majority of us on this platform. If you put all of them in that political space, when you read and read and read, you are not using your brain. So you have no need to use your brain. That is the problem. We are letting admirals and thugs outsmart us.
Thanks so much, Sully. Let me mention that the first time I had the idea of withholding money from abroad was when we had Aisha Yusufu here. She suggested that we should try to utilize that power that people, all of us who are outside the country have. The challenge is that it's difficult, but someone has to do it. People have to come together and try to do all this, implement some of these ideas. I think that's what I hope that these conversations we're having all over the social media will lead to people going outside this medium to talk about what to really do, implement beyond the talk we're having. I just want to use this. Thank you so much, Sully, for your contribution. I'm not sure who is next. I think it's X0 from my own calculation. I'm not sure. But in 30 minutes, we have to join another stream that will continue the topics that we didn't get to. We didn't even get to the budget, which is outrageous because there were so many things in that budget that we need to talk about. But I want to get X0 to weigh in on this topic, and then maybe if there's anybody else who has something special to say, we get to him and then round up. All right, X0, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I've been listening to you guys. First, I didn't want to join the program. I just wanted to listen. But I decided to come in, give my own 2 cents about the stampede that happened in was that state in the southwest? Was it which state? And the one that happened in Anambra. It's so it's a tragedy. But of course, what do you expect? What do you expect from our country the way it is now? There is no sign that we are moving, we are moving at breast, or we're moving with the 21st century competitors, so to say. We're not heading anywhere. close to a decent society. We're not ready yet. We are retrogressing, and it's very obvious. And for a society that retrogresses, in fact, that's heading speedily downwards, you shouldn't expect any better. Any one of us here can do the same thing that happened there. If you call people to come out and receive 1,000 tomorrow now, your house will be crowded. The same thing can happen. We see every day, is it because these things don't happen every time? We see every day Nigerian artists come out and spray money in the air, and you see people jumping about. You think some people don't get injured? You just don't see it on the internet. This one so happened to be very large. The kind of people that run our country are made from this kind of situation. We see the kind of campaigns that lead to the election, and we are wondering why this kind of things happen. This is exactly the way they do their campaign. This is what our leaders live, eat, and sleep in. So why are we surprised? They don't even care about their own self. They go to Hajj. Some of them don't make it back, and life goes on. They believe they've gone to a better place. These are the kind of, look at their age and look at how they reason. You want to do something good for society, you must do it publicly like that. Where do they learn it from? Is it not the same politicians that share money in cash, over 500 billion cash giveaways by ministers? And we are worried that this is to show you that if they gave truly those money in cash, more people would have paid. So it's a lie. You know, this person only wanted to give away maybe some few, up to maybe one or 2 million, and see how many people paid. They talk of a government that lied to us that they were giving away 500 billion. Or did I not hear it right during the Buhari administration? The humanitarian minister, he gave 500 billion in cash. Share that into all the states, and imagine the kind of casualties you have. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. We are not taking any step forward. We are retrogressing speedily. The only people holding the sanity of that place, that space, is all of us that are not living there. And when we speak like this, they tend to think that we are mad because we think we know better than them.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Exera. Chim.
Yeah, sorry, Rudolph, just a quick one. I just wanted to add that based off, I think it was Mr. James, that angle of the fetishness involved in, gathering crowds. Perhaps you might want to think about it as a conversation. If you have any expert you want to bring one day, because it's a fact. As much as some of us go to Catholic Church, go to Protestant, go to evangelical or whatever in Nigeria, the truth about the matter is a lot of even those of us who worship the Islamic way, many of our politicians are involved in marabout seeking. A lot of them visit marabouts and spiritualists who tell them, they need to go and do saraka or there's a definition that Kene gave it, I can't remember, from the Igbo angle. Those are some of the things that inspire this so-called. You see, I'm not against charity giving or philanthropy. I believe in it. It's a good thing. We're not all going to be rich. In society, we're going to have the haves and the have-nots. No matter how equitable or socialist we try to be, there will be those who don't have. It's just going to be, that's the way life is. But unfortunately, in our climb, many of our poverty has been weaponized. And so philanthropy is not necessarily that thing that, somebody of a good heart says, oh, I've been blessed, let me assist those who are less privileged. No. If any of us is thinking about it from that perspective, you have missed it. Many of our people who do these things for very sacrilegious purposes. including gathering innocent children, like somebody rightly painted that picture, giving them, and then there's a stampede and they die, and then their blood is now the sacrificial thing that will help the person win the next election, or whatever business the person is trying to gain from government, maybe whatever it is. So it's something for us. I know we glossed over it and laughed at it, but I took it very serious. He has a point, something for us to really consider, the diabolism that we have in our society. So I'll leave it there.
All right, but let me just say, Okija is still here, and from what I heard Okija say, Obi Jackson, the person that organized the one in Okija, has been doing this for years, and there've not been any incident of Stampede. Are you people saying that he was just waiting until 20 years after, then he would do? Hold on, let me finish. Hold on, Tim, hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
You know, immediate reaction doesn't mean you have.
No, I'm just trying to say, I hear you, I understand what you're saying. I'm not disputing what Okija said. I'm just saying that.
I know. I'm just putting in that context, because when people frame this and want us to believe that this is happening, you are just saying that because it's only because this happened that we know about it.
No.
Maybe the woman, I'm talking about the woman who did the one in Ibadan. Maybe she's been doing this for 30 years. I don't know. But because there was Stampede in this case, now people now want to say, oh, yes, finally.
Okay, Rudolph, so that you go, I know we need to close this particular thing. I don't want to belabor the issue. The fact is this: science cannot prove everything. The problem with us is that we think that everything has to be very scientific. And when you go about thinking that, like, you're being too simplistic, that somebody has been getting away, it's like your argument. Let me take your argument that somebody suddenly was caught in corruption today does not mean he's not been doing it for 20 years. He was just caught today, but he's been doing it for 20 years. So life sometimes, that outcomes don't necessarily happen immediately you do it. There are times that things will take an elongated period before it gestates and produces the results. So my point, I'm not into fetishism. Nobody's going to carry me in. First of all, I'm not a greedy person. I'm sorry to say that. There are certain things you can't catch me with. I've told people, you cannot come and tell me that I won lottery in Congo and there's oil, then I'll come and give you 2 naira. People who fall for those kinds of scams are criminals themselves. So my view about life is that sometimes you will get the kind of thing, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The kind of things that you will come your way are usually based on the kind of philosophy you have in life. But it doesn't mean that because I go to church, believe in Jesus, that as a result of that people who do fetishism, it does not work for them. It works. I might just not be a victim because of my level of knowledge and the way I carry my life. But to say that our politicians who do all this sarakara, some of them are clean, well, I'll just leave it at that.
All right, thank you. We give everybody 2 minutes to round up their thoughts, and then we move to the next stream. So let me start with you, KJ.
Okay, thank you, Rudolph, and I appreciate your kindness. I think this topic is a bigger topic. We should sit down and discuss it. Not because I cannot, give a thought on it and all that, but because it's something that our society also believes in, and the majority of us practice that. On the issue of we are not saying that whatever is happening around is all that has to do with people trying to do be funny. We're simply saying that let the system be put in place so that innocent lives, people who are yet to even experience what life is, will not come. Look, if the people who are affected by crime and criminality in Nigeria is 5.89 million people. Cases that are reported in Nigeria in 1 year, in 12 months. If that does not alarm anybody, it is alarming. 51.89 million cases of, all forms of criminality, which mostly has to do with, kidnapping and all that related issues. So the country is going to a very fast, slippery end that nobody knows what it is. The earlier we decide to make a turnaround, the better for everybody who lives in Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, thank you, KJ. Sure.
Okay, thank you, Rudolph. It's been a great show. Once again, I'd like to send my condolences to the affected people. I would also like to say, I agree with the fact that we're talking solutions, at least we're ready to discuss suggestions. What can we do? You could go the solid way of approaching everything, and get rid of these guys. You could do the one Rudolph is suggesting. What can we do? How can we force the hands of our current legislators and governors and the rest of them? So we'll talk solutions. We'll keep talking. It's a talk shop. Ideas will come. Some of them will work. Some of them will not work. And I also want to let people know that if people bring up ideas, the fact that we interrogate it, some of us will interrogate it and say, oh, I don't think that would work. It's not because we don't want it or we're trying to dissuade people. It's just like test proof, because the fact that you plan it somewhere doesn't mean when you want to execute it, there'll be pushback. So let's do the testing. It's like UAT basically. So let's test it. Let's see if it would work. Let's poke holes in it and we'll come to, conclusions. We all want the same thing. Most of us. Some people don't want Nigeria to work, as crazy as it seems. They just want their people to win. They want their man, their woman to win. Some of us, majority of us, I genuinely believe we want it to work. For those who want their people to win, good luck to them. The rest of us that want Nigeria to work, let's not bash each other too much. There'll be disagreement here and there, but let's learn to be able to take it. I mean, I have a new fan in the comment section who's just following me around. I've not banned the person. I've not muted them. So let's be tolerant. We would annoy each other from time to time, but it's all for the greater good. And I look forward to joining Forefathers because I know he's very interested in oil sector. Dangote, the story that's come out, Dangote's pushback on the $1 billion Nigeria gave them and how our 20% shares as Nigeria has now gone down to 7% because we didn't fulfill our end of the bargain. I look forward to that conversation on Forefathers show. Hopefully we'll discuss that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Show. Let's go to Sully. I think you're next. 2 minutes.
Me?
Yeah.
On which topic?
No, we're rounding up. Final thoughts. We're going to a
okay.
different stream. Yeah. So.
Well, Nigerians, I don't understand this disbelief that you think these guys are. Well, maybe it's because you've not been around them. To me, I don't see them as anybody. These are people I've seen since I was a young boy. So, I see them as normal human beings. Daddy's friend, daddy's schoolmates, or, people I've seen, they come together, they do school reunion and everything. These people are just normal human beings that strategized. They are not hard to beat. It's just strategy. Tinubu is not a god. Tinubu is not that smart. You say they are smart. You say they are. To me, if I am telling you that these people are not smart, then that means I've seen something that should let you know that they are not that smart. They are just more aggressive than you. That is just it. They have a winning mindset. You have a losing mindset. That's why you already believe that you are going to lose before you even try. And even if you don't have a winner's mindset, be able to, injure them, even though they are going to cheat you. That's just the thing. You must not just accept defeat like that. If they did, they will not be where they are right now. If Tinubu accepted defeat, he wasn't winning every battle he faced. Some battles he lost, and he learned from that. These people are not gods. These people are not geniuses. You guys on this platform are smarter than most of them. But you don't want to believe it. Some people in the comment, I've listened to platforms and I've heard very interesting ideas, very creative ideas. We just need to pick out the ones that will work. If we come with a full plan, a whole book of ideas, hitting them from every corner, every angle, House of Representatives, senators, governors, local government chairman, agberos, thugs, all these people that they've put in government, everyone, Tinubu, without his people, Tinubu is nothing. Without his people, let me just finalize, Tinubu is nothing. If you take out these people, you don't even need to target Tinubu. If you take out his cronies, the people on the streets, the people implementing all these things for him, his hand puppets, he's nothing. He can't do anything. Each area, let us target them with strategies. We'll bombard them where they cannot think anymore. And before you know it, they've lost everything. That is how they do us. We should just do it with education and aggression and a little bit of thuggery, because that is how Nigeria is. You have to be a little bit of a thug to get what you want. Even Dangote is a thug. He has a little bit of thuggery in him. He did not get there by mistake. That is just it. I'm begging Nigerians, stop having a loser's mindset. Believe you can win too. I know that they do a lot of cheating, but you too, you are a Nigerian. You too, you are smart. We are one of the smartest black people on this face, on this earth. You too, strategize. You know, we don't need to argue and forget all these arguments. Let's just unite for just on one goal. If we can succeed on one goal, I promise you, it will boost your morale, and you will start seeing your ability to be able to succeed against these people. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Very well put. Eme.
Thank you very much. I think Soli has made very good points, and that is just how, you know, I used to say that to change the nation itself, we just have to become restless. And that being restless is not about just being thugs on the street, but you have to now believe that we are more than them. This set of people, they are no more than maybe 2,000 maximum in terms of numbers. And you have like 180 million people suffering because of their decisions. So if we capitalize on that, we can really do the magic. You know, the day you want to go for your votes, you go to vote as if you are going for war. And you vote not because you are expecting, you don't want peace to reign, but it's because that you believe that if there is war, we are going to fight this one and win it. You prepare like that. And let us see which war will come. But of course, you know, we've been beaten down. And the issue of the ethnicism, religion, and all those cards that have been played, that has made my devil better than your devil, always come to play. And these are the reasons why personally I feel we should all go our ways. Let the nation that will perish. Let the one that will come out stronger. Because that's the best thing to do. Because as a collective, I don't think we can come to that agreement that will make a vital change. That's just me as a person, though. So, well, I hope that something good can come out. Let us see how it goes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And let's hear Okija. 2 minutes.
Okay. Yes. Dr. Damages, thank you for the opportunity this morning. I don't know. You said something about Aisha. Is it Aisha Yusuf? You know, they were talking about withholding remittances. I don't think, you know, that's not even a good idea. That's not even something to entertain. If anybody wants to, you know, punish, you know, family and friends, let the person go ahead. But I don't think somebody like me would just, not send help people out when it's most of the time, you know, not their fault. You know, they don't get ahead in life. Nigeria is beating a lot of people. But I mean, you know, what we don't understand, I know you people have profiled some solution, you know, Dr. Damage is talking about laws, but, you know, desperation, just like, you know, KJ said, when you are desperate, when you need to, you know, someone was telling me about this guy that went to see a pastor. He had a problem. You know, he was desperate. He went to see a pastor, and the pastor was telling him about Jesus. You know, Jesus, he has been there. So he told the pastor to shut up. That Jesus never saw anything. That he said, has Jesus ever been in a situation where he couldn't feed his daughters or, you know, sons? So stop telling me about Jesus. You know. So tell me about, you know, real human beings. You know, not talking about somebody that knows his father owns, you know, the whole world. So I mean, when people are desperate, they do so many things, and that's why I said that. The hunger in Nigeria is the problem why these things are happening. Because when this thing was happening, I started thinking, you know, why, then I called my kinsmen we went to our platform. I asked, you know, any of our people went there, they said no. So and I started asking around, even I asked one of my sisters, why do, you know, like this thing has been happening? Have you gone to Obi Jackson? This thing, has anybody from our family gone to Obi Jackson, you know, Spain, you know, since it started? They said no. since he started. They've never gone there for once. So I was like, why? They said, we know that, even if we don't have, you will always give us. So people are desperate. So people are hungry. There are so many people, they don't have anybody that will give them. So they have to do whatever they have to do. So that's why they were involved in this thing. But again, also I want to say something about in Nigeria, like this situation. Obi Jackson, he's been he's like I said, he has a big what's the name of that Jesuit secondary school in Akeja, from Abuja, the one in Abuja. So he brought a branch to Akeja, and he's been traveling. He has an oil concern, in somewhere in Caribbean. So he's not like he's, if you see the structures, things he built, the thought given into the things he built, schools, everything. You will see that so there's someone that travel. But sometimes I think because I've known some people that work with him, they are illiterate, because he doesn't want to hire good people to work with him. So these people, they are the ones who are holding this event, in the village, and then he will come and show off. And there's mentality in Nigerians. A lot of people that have money, they want to show off. I mean, why, just like some people have said, why not just send this to people, to villages, send it to their by kindred, let them go there and collect it. I've been involved in charity. There was one, someone was telling me, they need to be a presentation or whatever. I said, I don't care about presentation. Just give it to these people. Who cares about So, but but again, this thing will keep happening. Whether even if you make all the laws, it will still happen, because policemen, they will come there, people will bribe them, and then the laws will not be obeyed. So that's something about Nigeria. Do we have to go back to the days of Buhari one and what's his name? His vice. What's the name of it? That's his vice. When they enforced discipline, made Nigerians queue up, made Nigerians, big deals. There was desperation then. Today, there was desperation then, but I knew that people were queued up. There was shortage of essential commodities like milk and things like that. But people queued up to receive those things, rice. Some people queued up. So I don't know what Nigerians, they have they contribute to these things, but then again, the mindset. How do we change the mindset? It's not about laws. It's about telling people, like I had a conversation with my family members. I told them, anytime tanker, anything you see a falling tanker, don't go near there. If you die there, I'm not going to bury you. I'm not going to bring money to bury you. I'm not even come to a burial. But then again, how many of us have how many of them have other people that will talk sense into them? So it's a big issue. But something I know is that poverty causes a lot of things. There are some sins, there are some wickedness you can't be, if you have money. That's the whole truth.
All right. Thank you. So we have like 3 minutes, so I'll give 1 minute to each of the remaining people. CM.
Okay, thank you. My last take on this thing is that may the souls of those that died in this stampede, the children at Ibadan, those at Abuja, and those at Okija, may their soul rest in peace, and may this be the last time, good God, that we are going to hear that Nigerians died in a stampede, be it to write an exam under Bamoro in those days, or to rush for free food. Please let 2024 draw the curtain on this. That's what I'm going to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, CM. X0, 1 minute, please.
Yeah, Dr. Rudolph, thank you for giving me this 1 minute. I just wanted to say something about that mosque that pasted that Allah is better than Jesus or something like that. To a lot of people listening to this, my own advice is let Jesus fight for himself. And then anywhere they, sometimes they normally burn Quran here to provoke people. And I always tell the Muslims, let Allah fight for himself. Though that's the easiest way to unalive yourself, to go and be involved. Because most of the wars in this world, if you look from beginning, they are fought because of notions. And notions don't put bread on your table. It's either against the capitalists against the communists, the Buddhists against the Muslims, or the which one was the latest one again? Notions, ideas. Somebody wants to impose his own ideology on you, and then you carry the fight. Why are you fighting for Jesus? Leave all these kind of notions. Find a better thing to do with yourself. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. The flagship.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Rudolph. I know I'm late to the meeting, but just to say good afternoon to everybody on the show, and condolences to all the families in Ibadan, Abuja, and Anambra, and also to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone on the show. Stay strong, do whatever you can to remain alive. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let me remind everybody that tomorrow on 90 Minutes Africa, we will have Dr. Malcolm Fabi joining us to look at Beyond Dele Farotimi, the fast shrinking political space in Nigeria. So if you can join us tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. New York time and 6:30 p.m. Nigerian time, we will appreciate that. Now, let me thank the people who supported us today. It's very important to remember them and thank them. Alexander Gomez, Kulata, T. Leach, Henry Gabriel, Shosho, Topeho, Jaja, Nana Bash, and everybody else who helped behind the scene to bring you this program. We appreciate all of you. I want to thank all of you, and for those who may not join us tomorrow, wish you a Merry Christmas. We will be here next weekend on Have Your Say 247 and 90 Minutes Africa. But there's another program going on. It will start immediately this one ends. Please join and be part of that conversation. We're going to continue on the topics we didn't get to hear, which are things like the budget for 2025 that was presented, and many other things that happened, including Edo State, where the local government chairmen were removed by the government of the state, and then the court said it should come back. So please join that conversation. Thank you so much for being with me. I will come back maybe and see what's going on. On behalf of the team, I thank you, Soli, for being here. CM, thank you so much for being here. X0, thank you. The flagship, thank you. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah, before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You are laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam. Thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. By the end of the year, how are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son, ask your daughter how to. Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.